Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. The meeting is now being streamlined.
Good evening and welcome to the October 27, 2025, 6 p.m. regular joint meeting of the Bell Gardens City Council and successor agency to the Community Development Commission. The meeting will now come to order at 6:05 p.m. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. Conflict of interest. If any of the members should have a conflict of interest, please announce any item you are recusing from due to a conflict of interest prior to the item being heard. And now we're going into the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Tonight's invocation will be given by Minister Daniel Anguiano, and the pledge of allegiance will be led by Cameron Vargas, Girl Scout Troop 2543.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Let us come to our feet as we come before God. Heavenly Father, we just want to come before you in this evening and thank you for your goodness. Lord, your word says that your attributes have been made known to man, and therefore we are unexcused. So we come before you and acknowledge you as the highest authority in this evening, Father. And we just ask for your blessing over our city leaders, over every department, over the administration, over the management of this wonderful city, Lord, over every resident. God, I just pray your guidance, your blessings, Father, and your mercy. I pray for those, God, who put their lives on the line to keep us safe and keep the peace of our city. In the name of Jesus, I pray this. Amen.
Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
City Clerk, please call a roll of the members of the City Council and successor agency.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and successor agency, Chavez.
Present.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Present.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Present.
And Mayor Barcena.
Present. Thank you. We will now move to the presentations. City Manager, please introduce the presentations.
Thank you, Mayor Barcena. The first presentation we have is a certificate of recognition for the Bell Gardens Police Department Community Police Academy class. This is for the graduates. I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor.
For all of you at home watching, this is a certificate that we're giving out today. It's a certificate of recognition presented to all of the participants. The Bell Gardens City Council hereby congratulates you on completing the 6-week Bell Gardens Police Department Community Police Academy, Class CC-05. We commend you on your time and dedication in working to understand the Bell Gardens Police Department's policies and procedures, history of Bell Gardens Police Department and law enforcement, patrol functions, criminal law, records, dispatch, neighborhood watch, investigations, and use of force, including scenario training. You are an inspiration to fellow Bell Gardens residents and those working in our community on how to seek and better understand how our police department functions. This is signed by me, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, and also by all of the members of the City Council. So before I continue, I want to make sure that I can have maybe the instructors of this class come up. Are they here today? Yeah.
Mayor, I wonder if Detective Valenzuela maybe could tell the council and just remind everybody about the program and the time commitment that it takes for the residents who participate in the program and successfully graduate from it, if that would be okay.
Please go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I am Detective Valenzuela, and I am here today to present the certificates to our 23 graduates of our 5th Citizens Academy. In summary, the Citizens Academy is a 6-week program in which residents of Bell Gardens join us to learn about the different units within the Bell Gardens Police Department. This program helps residents get a better understanding of how the department works. It is 6 weeks long, and it is every Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Detective Valenzuela. And if you don't mind just holding off right there, I am going to call all of the participants. And I think we're all going to be very impressed by the amount of participation that we received for this program. So again, congratulations. And this, what I just read about this certificate applies to all of you. So as I call your name, please come up to the front and join the detective. Evelyn Jasmine Suarez Alvarado, Emmanuel Aparicio. By the way, Emmanuel Aparicio is a fellow Toastmaster as well, so he's very involved in the community. If you guys don't mind just standing up and going towards the podium. Marta Cabral, Jennifer Espino, Joaquin Garcia, Margarita Garcia, Nelida Garcia, Esmeralda Hernandez, Raúl Alfredo Calderón, Mónica Kakimoto, Rosa Linares, Elba Martínez, Verónica Milán, Victoria Mirembe, Jasmine Nathalie Navarro, Bernardina Ocampo, Joana Paredes, Pedro Puacsek, Sofía Rodríguez, Ana María Sánchez Flores, Antonia Santiago, Gabriel Santos, and Araceli Zamora. Okay, let's give them a round of applause, please. And at this point, I would like to open up the microphone for our council members, if you have a few words.
Bueno, felicidades a todos. Primeramente, lamentablemente no tuve la dicha de terminar con ustedes, ya que tuve que retirarme, pero me da mucho gusto verlos, que fueron constantes. Y Detective Val, congratulations for your instruction and everybody involved during the process. Annalie, thank you for also being proactive and for your support. I saw you and I see a little Sarge down there that didn't want to stand up. Where are you? And where's the other support? Everybody involved, todos los que tomaron el tiempo, dedicaron, les enseñaron, los instruyeron, sé que aprendieron mucho y ojalá hayan aprendido poquito de lo que nuestro departamento hace, porque ya ve que se toma mucho y hacen mucho por nosotros. Entonces, que Dios me los bendiga.
De todo corazón, felicidades a todos los participantes del programa. Al formar parte de este programa, están fortaleciendo la relación entre el departamento de policía y la comunidad y eso realmente, o sea, tiene un valor innumerable. Así que de todo corazón, felicidades y estoy muy orgulloso de todos ustedes. Gracias.
Gracias por tomar el tiempo, 6 semanas. Una cosa que no se puede dar para atrás y que es muy valiosa es el tiempo, ¿verdad? Y ustedes donaron de su tiempo para aprender lo que hace el Departamento de Policía, cómo pueden ayudar ustedes a la comunidad. Le agradezco mucho de todo corazón por dar su tiempo y están tan involucrados en nuestra ciudad. Gracias.
De parte mía, nomás les quiero decir de nuevo gracias por su tiempo, gracias por dedicarse para nuestra comunidad, se lo agradecemos mucho y sabemos que cuando hablamos de líderes aquí en la comunidad, estamos hablando de todos ustedes. So, de nuevo, muchas gracias y pues hay que seguir adelante. Gracias.
And just to wrap things up, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the chief, thank you to Ana Lee, and thank you to Detective for making sure that our residents get an opportunity to have an inside look at our police department and the inner workings of it and become educated on how law enforcement at a local level works. Quiero darles gracias al jefe de policía, quiero darle gracias a Ana Lee y al detective por abrir las puertas a la comunidad y darles la oportunidad de que ustedes vean directamente cómo funciona el departamento de policía. Es algo muy importante porque nosotros invertimos mucho dinero para protegerlos, para law enforcement. Entonces es importante que ustedes estén ahí y aprendan y me da mucho gusto que les dan esa oportunidad. Así que felicidades y ahora vamos a tomarnos una foto. No sé cómo la vamos a hacer. Does anyone have an idea how we can make this happen? Mejor todos vengan aquí, nosotros nos quedamos aquí y vengan aquí para en medio y tomamos la foto ahí. ¿Ya? Absolutely, absolutely. If we can have the two speakers that have something to share, we'd love to hear it.
Muy buenas noches. Mi nombre es Ana María Sánchez y soy parte de la comunidad. Señor alcalde Marco Bárcena, señores miembros del Consejo del Concilio, señor O'Kelly, familiares, amigos, señoras y señores, compañeros que están aquí. En esta noche tan hermosa, tengo el honor de representar a los alumnos de la clase 5 del año 2025 de la Academia de Policía Comunitaria de la bella ciudad de Bell Gardens. Tuvimos la oportunidad de conocer lo que tienen que hacer los hombres y mujeres de la profesión más incomprendida de todos lados, los instructores de policía. Ellos nos explicaron los desafíos y razones por lo que ellos toman a veces muy difíciles decisiones. Siempre es por tratar de protegernos a nosotros, la comunidad. La Academia de la Policía Comunitaria no nos prepara para policías, pero nos enseña el servicio que ellos hacen y yo siento que nos hizo un poquito más fuertes para enfrentar los problemas de la comunidad. Por eso, muchísimas gracias de parte de nosotros al consejo que dio la oportunidad y a los señores policías que nos dieron las clases, en especial al jefe Camacho, que fue gran jefe, es el gran jefe, la señorita detective, Ana Lee, y todos los instructores que tuvimos. Entonces, nos queda más que decirles, si pueden seguir, por favor, con la comunidad, dando a conocer, tal vez no lo mismo de nosotros, pero sí, igual o mejor, para que la comunidad siga mejorando. Entonces, no me queda más que decirles, por favor, sigan y gracias. Buenas noches.
Gracias a la señora Ana Sánchez, que también es comisionada de los seniors y está aquí presente hoy. Y el señor Aparicio va a hablar. Mr. Aparicio, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'll try to keep it short. My name is Emmanuel Aparicio. I went through the Civilian Academy. I'd just like to say that it was a great experience. The staff and the officers made it fun, enjoyable, and educational. It was just something amazing. And I'd just like to thank everybody, in particular Detective Valenzuela. She did a great job. She translated between both English and Spanish, juggling, it was a juggling act. And that's really hard to do. I know for a fact. Chief Camacho, I think she deserves a promotion. I'm trying. But anyway, I'd also like to thank Commissioner, Council Member Guillen. She came by and spent some time with us. I'd like to thank you for that. And I'd like to invite everybody. I mean, I think it's open to everybody, all the residents of California, Bell Gardens. It's a great experience for anybody to experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aparicio. Okay, if that's everyone that needed to talk, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a picture. If you guys want to come here to the middle. Hello, hello. I do want to invite everyone that's here today to stick around just for a couple more minutes. We do have more people that we're going to be recognizing during the presentations. So City Manager, can you please announce item 5.2, a certificate of recognition for the Art and Yard Sale program?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barcena. The next item is a recognition for the Art and Yard Sale program. For anybody that doesn't know, the Art and Yard Sale program occurs every Friday at 11 o'clock through 3 p.m. at Veterans Park. With that, I will ask the recipients to come to the podium for the Art and Yard Sale and then turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Si los participantes de Art and Yard Sale pueden pasar enfrente, por favor, al micrófono. Si está aquí Lucía Veloz, también por favor que pase enfrente. And for our city clerk, I do want to group this together with item 5.4. It's directly related to it. So, yeah. I know there's more participants, but if you're shy, it's okay. But if you want to come to the front, you can come to the front. Okay, well, let me go ahead and read the certificate. And for those of you that are at home or watching online, it looks like this. The Certificate of Recognition honoring Bell Gardens Resident Art and Yard Sale Program. The Bell Gardens City Council is honored to recognize the Bell Gardens Resident Art and Yard Sale Program, which celebrates its second successful year. The Art and Yard Sale program unites our community, fosters engagement, and promotes sustainability through creativity, art, and meaningful participation. We thank and recognize the program, staff, and participants for creating a supportive, positive environment for our community. This is signed by me, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, and by the entire City Council. I also want to take this opportunity because the person that's going to be receiving this should also be recognized. Her name is Lucia Veloz. Lucia Veloz is here with us today. And we have this certificate for Lucia Veloz. We're about to let you guys know why she's a very special person here. The Bell Gardens and City Council is honored to recognize Lucia Veloz for her outstanding contribution. Lucia played an instrumental role in the early development and creation of the Bell Gardens Residents Art and Yard Sale program, helping shape it into the success that it is today. Her dedication and innovative spirit has been truly monumental. We thank Lucia for her leadership, creativity, and commitment to our community. Also signed by me, the Mayor of City Council, and supported by the entire council here in the City of Bell Gardens. Thank you, Lucia. And at this point, I want to make sure that I ask if you have any words, si tienes algunas palabras que decir, Lucia.
Sí, creo que sí, pues empezó este proyecto como algo esperanzador para muchas familias. Creo que fue
Yes,
un
creo.
proyecto que se
I
escribió
think it
pensando que
was
iba a
a
tener
project that was created without thinking about what it was going to be and with this support. And each one of you approved it. It had come from people here in the community who really benefit. I think it's a project that has worked really well. That it should continue growing. It should continue. And thank all of you for supporting this project in the community. I think Bell Gardens is making a difference. And this pilot project was seen by other cities who also wanted to do it. So it's something that our community needs for people, low-income people, people who can have some extra income in their pocket, knowing that we're going through hard, very difficult situations now. All of the members that are here have been supporting us, people from the city, Benji, all of the young people who are there supporting the project, the employees who make this possible with the rules as it should be. So I just want to thank each one of you, and I hope that more wonderful similar projects continue so that Bell Gardens continues getting stronger. Thank you. And I'm just a voice for many people from my community. Thank everyone. I thank every one of you, truly.
Do any of my colleagues have any words that they'd like to say?
Lucía, muchas gracias por su creatividad, su liderazgo. En este proyecto, tal como este, o sea, existe la fundación de apoyarse, ¿no? Como comunidad, uno al otro, y eso es una, ¿cómo lo diré? Es fundamental, ¿no? Para llevar a cabo una comunidad, crear un movimiento, crear una cultura de apoyo entre nos y eso realmente es invaluable y de todo corazón le agradezco mucho todo su energía y todo su esfuerzo que le ha puesto en este proyecto. Gracias, Lucía.
Ya, brevemente, Lucía. Nomás le quiero decir gracias, Lucía, por todo su esfuerzo, no nomás en esta actividad, pero en varias diferentes actividades que ha tenido usted, que ha participado aquí en nuestra ciudad. Si hablamos de The Art and Yard Sale, si hablamos del programa de arte, si hablamos de las posadas, si hablamos de el control de renta, usted siempre ha sido un líder aquí en nuestra comunidad. Verdaderamente le agradecemos por todo lo que hace por los residentes aquí. Y como usted dice, usted representa mucha gente en nuestra comunidad. So, de nuevo, muchas gracias y nosotros mismos estamos orgullosos de tenerla como residente en nosotros.
Gracias. Y espero que así sea.
Thank you.
Más años. Gracias.
Lucía, como usted dijo, es una voz que representa a muchas personas, ¿verdad? Ya sé que cualquier cosa, si es una actividad, desde arte o no, lo que sea, ¿verdad? Usted siempre está allí para representar la comunidad y representar mucha gente que a veces no tiene la voz, ¿verdad? Tiene los ideas para hacer las cosas, pero no sabe cómo expresarse y usted siempre está allí representando la comunidad. So, muchas gracias por eso.
Y para reiterar lo que dijeron mis colegas, la felicito por su constancia, por la dedicación, porque todo eso habla de de sus cualidades y la palabra que voy a utilizar, eso toma agallas y es algo que usted tiene. La felicito.
Ah, Lucy, quiero darte gracias por siempre ser tan creativa aquí en la ciudad de Bell Gardens y compartir tu... Es un don, como decía mi papá, es un don, es una cualidad, un talento que tú tienes de pensar, thinking outside of the box, ¿verdad? Yo me acuerdo como si fuera ayer que Lucía me dijo, tengo una idea de hacer como un mercadito en el parque y eso, y nos citamos, fuimos a McDonald's y estábamos ahí y se me hace curioso que Frances, nuestra concejal Frances de León, doctora Frances de León Sánchez, dice que ella le da la voz a personas que no están muy bien representadas. Y ese día yo me acuerdo que cuando tuvimos esa junta había muchas señoras de la comunidad y se vean tímidas, como que a ellas no les gusta mucho llamar la atención, no les gusta mucho hablar, pero ellas todas querían esto de tener algo bonito en el parque donde puedan vender sus cosas. Y pues yo estuve ahí sentado escuchando y al principio dije, no, suena muy difícil, a lo mejor no se va a poder, pero después de que empezamos a platicar y platicar, me di cuenta que ¿por qué no? ¿Verdad? Y eso es lo bonito de tener comunicación con alguien como Lucía, que sueña, que tiene ideas, porque sí se puede. Yo sé que todos nosotros decimos sí se puede siempre, siempre, pero ¿qué tan seguido damos ese ejemplo? ¿Verdad? Y gracias pues a Lucía, esto se pudo. Es algo muy diferente a lo que yo me imaginaba. Es nada más los viernes. En la mañana y es como un swap meet, es como una vendimia muy bonita de pura comunidad y es gratis para todos los residentes de Bell Gardens que pongan sus puestos. Yo sé que mucha gente está ocupada trabajando los viernes en la mañana, pero hay mucha gente que no. Y este programa es para ellos. Es para que ellos se puedan beneficiar un poco de una manera económica. Entonces, quiero darte gracias, Lucía, porque ese es un beneficio concreto a la comunidad y es real y funciona y es algo maravilloso. Muchas gracias, Lucía, y te felicito por todo el trabajo que has hecho. Ahora vamos a tomarnos una foto. Mr. City Manager, can you please announce item 5.3, Certificate of Recognition for Spirit Family Services?
Yes, thanks again, Mayor Barcena. So the next item is a certificate of recognition for Spirit Family Centers. I always have to look again to see what Spirit stands for. It's skills for prevention, intervention, recovery, individual treatment, and training. All very positive things, and it's a lot of work for one organization to do. I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor. And if you're here with Spirit, if you could please come up to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And here's a certificate that we are awarding today to Spirit Family Services. The Bell Garden City Council is proud to recognize Spirit Family Centers. Spirit is a place where families can find support for children, youth, and adults who may be experiencing financial challenges, trauma, violence, mental health challenges, and substance abuse issues. Spirit connects families to community resources and provides essential services such as therapy, parenting, and economic development programs. We thank Spirit for their dedication to uplift our communities, including Bell Gardens, through their invaluable resources and programs. This is dated October 27, 2025, signed by me, Mayor of the City Council, and our entire council here in the city of Bell Gardens. So thank you so much for everything you do here in Bell Gardens. And I would like for the council, if they have any comments to share, please do so now.
I just want to tell you thank you. The fact that you are in our city, you provide so many services, to so many, not just from our community, but we're blessed to have you here and all the amazing work that you guys do. I've been to many of your guys' events, and I just greatly appreciate all the work that you do. And I hope that you continue to stay in Bell Gardens for many, many more years. Thank you.
Is that all?
My heartfelt congratulations and gratitude. The services that you provide really form a stepping stone for stronger and healthier communities, and it's very grateful to have Spirit in the city of Bell Gardens, and thank you so much for all the service you do.
De corazón, just thank you so very much. And we just wish to continue having you here within our community, and just thank you.
For my comments, thank you so much for all the services. Really, truly, it's not easy. The amount of support and resources and the stories that you hear from our residents. Recently, I got a call from Assemblywoman Pacheco's office. I know that there's like land next to that office too that is being worked on. But know that on my behalf, and I feel comfortable saying that on behalf of the city, when you succeed, we succeed. Right. So again, thank you for all you do, and hopefully we can continue building a better and stronger partnership between our city and Spirit Family Services. Thank you.
I just want to point out that we're all a big community here. A lot of the people that were here earlier receiving awards, they've actually worked very closely with Spirit Family Services. So for that reason, I'm very happy to be able to recognize you today and to have you down the street. You guys are literally next block. And the services that you've been evolving to provide are just outstanding. Your latest efforts to help families of kids who have it really tough at home is really invaluable in our community, because we know that those kids, if they don't follow the right path later on in life, they may suffer even more. They may fall into drugs or violence. And to have an organization like yours that focuses on preventing that at an early stage is extremely valuable. And we really appreciate you. We're happy that you're here today. And we want to recognize you for all the hard work that you do. So if you'd like to share a few words with us, please go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Elvia Torres, the CEO with Spirit Family Services. So Mayor Barcena and council members, it's such an honor to be here. And we appreciate your acknowledgement. It's first, you guys are all civil servants, right? You're out there making a difference, and we want you to know that we're here too. We want to support the work that you're doing for the families, the residents, and a lot of our residents many times have challenges, and it's not to place blame or anything, but just to recognize that sometimes there's hard times, and a lot of the children's and parents go through difficulties, and we're here to provide that, whether it's economic resources when they're available, whether it's parenting, whether it's a grassroots community event, therapy. And so we're just honored that you all have been receptive to Spirit, and you participate in some of the communities, and we work together in that. So thank you very much. And again, we're here to help the residents of your community thrive. So thank you.
Yo quisiera dar gracias a el señor Bárcena, a nuestro mayor, a Miss Frances, a todos nuestros councils. Gracias por el apoyo al chief of police que siempre nos han estado apoyando durante todo este tiempo. Estamos muy agradecidas y que Dios los oiga, que estemos mucho tiempo aquí en Bell Gardens. Gracias.
Okay, if that's, does anybody else want to speak, or is, yeah? Yeah.
I'll say something, okay. I know I was just mentioning to Ms. Elvia, to talk about the substance abuse program that we're, having. So I know besides many different services that we have here, something that's innovative and that's coming here is a substance abuse program. And it's for adults, so, and the youth, for the adults and the youth, men and women. So we'll be passing that information along. And you know what, as I grew up here, Bell Gardens, Suva, intermediate, and then Bell Gardens High School. And it's always a pleasure to come down here and to drive into the city. And I enjoy listening to the ladies who are up here and the gentlemen. We didn't have that before. And to be seeing that it's beautiful, for the involvement that we have. The other thing, it's also good to see that, just like you mentioned, Mr. Barcena, that a lot of the community members here, they feel comfortable in stepping into the agency, which is across the street, like you said it. And you could see it in them. They feel comfortable to walk in there, and they also feel comfortable to request the services that they're looking for. So, thank you to all of you here, because I know you guys are really playing a major role in letting the community know that we're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. I do have a question. I hope this isn't like too random of a question for this recognition, but I think it's important. If somebody is having a substance abuse issue with themselves or their families, how can we reach out? Is this something that usually family members reach out about, or the person themselves?
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah. So we're seeing a lot with especially with our youth, and we're hearing all over the news that sometimes there's experimentation. Sometimes what happens in treatment, though, we have una señora viene y dice, mi hijo que está usando. And what happens is if the child isn't ready, it takes time. So if you think it's going to be a quick fix, it usually isn't. So when the person is willing to recognize and say, okay, this is something I want to work on, treatment goes faster. But if someone's not ready, it's okay. And we have to realize that it's a process. And I always say it's timing. And so just having support, recognizing what are some of the triggers and stuff, usually it'll help. So it could be someone coming in, and sometimes it might be a family member. We have other support services that we could do to help them sometimes when they're struggling with a family member.
Thank you so much. So I guess to simplify it, if you feel like you need help, you can always reach out to Spirit, right? Whether you're a family member or the person itself. thank you again. For those of you that don't know, Spirit is just right next block. And if you just Google it on Google, the number will come up and you guys can give them a call. Okay. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and take a picture. Yep. Okay, Mr. City Manager, can you please announce item 5.5, certificate of recognition for Sergio Maldonado Jaimes?
Yes, Mayor. So this next one is a certificate of recognition, as you said, for Sergio Maldonado Jaimes. Sergio, if you're here, if you could come up to the front, please.
Okay, we were saving the best for last, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good. Sergio, this is the certificate for you today, and we're honoring you. And the City of Bell Gardens City Council is honored to recognize you, Sergio Maldonado Jaimes, for your dedication and volunteer work here in the city. For the past 2.5 years, Coach Sergio has selflessly volunteered his time on the field, providing guidance, leadership, and mentorship to the All-Star BG soccer team. We thank you, Coach Sergio. Your commitment exemplifies the spirit of giving back to the community. And the entire City Council here recognizes you. Me, as the mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, I'm very proud of you. And this is signed by me on October 27, 2025. And you know what? Since we're already here, let's get all the kids over here with your coach. Come on. And I also want to open it up to my council members. If they have any words they want to share, please go ahead.
Congratulations, Sergio. That's a lot of kids you got. It's a lot of I do not envy you. But again, congratulations and thank you for your many years of service.
You brought a fan club with you, and obviously it shows the amount of dedication that you give of your time to the youth. For me, volunteering time, especially to the youth, is a huge deal. So the fact that you're doing this within our community and providing this for our students and the youth of Bell Gardens, I truly appreciate it. So thank you so much for your service.
Congratulations, Sergio. I heard so much about you this weekend. I heard how much how much effort you put into training the team. You work right after work. You go straight to the training field, and it's this energy that really it really shows how much effort you put in. Congratulations and shout out to the BG All Stars. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Your selflessness is reflected on these young little boys. Los niños son la felicidad y es reflejado aquí. Bienvenidos y a nosotros nos robaron la sonrisa, a mí me robaron el corazón, entonces gracias.
Sergio, te quiero felicitar. I want to congratulate you for being able to work with the kids. But here's the thing. I heard something but it was very, very faint, very like little mice. I don't know if you guys can do a better job at giving me a big, big scream. Ready? 1, 2, go. All right. Good job, guys. Good job. Now I want to open it up to the coach. Coach, do you have some words to say? Guys, you guys gotta let your coach speak now, right?
Muchas gracias por este reconocimiento. No me lo esperaba, pero es algo que empezó como ahí veremos a ver qué pasa y ahorita gracias a Dios algo bueno está saliendo de aquí y espero seguir con esto el tiempo que los niños estén aquí. Espero que vengan más y seguir con esto. Niños, muchas gracias. Gracias por estar aquí conmigo. Espero seguir enseñándole lo poquito, mucho que pueda. Thank you por todo, okay?
6, 7.
Muchas gracias otra vez, coach, entrenador. Ahora vamos a tomar una foto. Si quieren.
I don't know. Can one of you explain what 6'7" means? What does it mean?
Trend.
If you know, you know.
Man, I feel like
All right, we'll put it on the next agenda to figure out. We'll have one of our detectives in the police department figure out what 6'7" is. But if you guys can do me a favor and come here to the front, we'll probably just sit back here and you guys can come we can take a picture. Okay, go ahead.
Quisiera agradecer también a unas personas que están aquí ya más también involucradas conmigo,
Por favor, sí.
apoyándome mucho. Primeramente a mi esposa que ha estado conmigo desde el principio. También quiero agradecer al señor Juan y al señor Lenis que me están empezando a ayudar bastante. Esto está creciendo un poco más y espero y siga creciendo. Que haya mucho más como esto y que no queden en que empezó y ojalá y siga más como yo. Hay 2 personas más involucradas y espero se sigan involucrando muchas personas más. Gracias.
Gracias. All right, guys, let's come over here to the front and we're going to take a picture, okay? And yes, if we can have the volunteers Anyone that helps the coach, please come up. All right, guys. Be careful, guys. You guys got to settle down, okay? We're going to send the chief after you if you don't.
Ok, cálmense, si no vamos a mandar al jefe de policía. Why am I on English? I don't have my thing. It's not showing.
Thank you guys for coming. Have a great day. All right. Moving on to item number 6, public participation on non-agenda items. We will now move to public participation for items not listed on the agenda. Public participation is open. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items not listed on the agenda. We didn't receive any public comment cards for any speaker, but we did receive one written comment, and that was provided to the full council.
Okay, if there's no objection by members of the City Council, I will close public participation for non-agenda items. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation for items listed on the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the agenda. We didn't receive any public comment cards. We do have someone joining us virtually, but they do not have their hand raised.
Thank you. If there's no objection by members of the City Council, I will close the public participation and open up external committee updates. Does any member of the council have anything to report from their external committees?
I do. So
Please.
last Monday, October 20th, we had a rally in front of the Attorney General Bonta's office. By we, I mean the JPA, which was Bell Gardens, Commerce, Compton, Hawaiian Gardens. Not only was it elected officials, but it was also employees of all of these cities kind of protesting, obviously, what Bonta's trying to do. And the whole theme that day, we had somebody dress up as a Monopoly man, because the way that it's pictured right now, and we feel, is that the tribes are trying to monopolize the games, especially blackjack style games, including 21. So a lot of our casinos are going to lose revenue. Not only that, but it's going to affect thousands and thousands of employees and our residents and the services that we get. There's a lot of media coverage from Channel 34, 7, 11, 5. Not only was there local media there, but there was also radio. And so we were able to reach various media outlets, trying to show the just devastating impact that it's going to have if this does continue. And so I thank my city employees that were there. I thank Commerce, Compton, Hawaiian Gardens for all getting together. There were several hundred people there, and I think we were able to get the attention and the word out regarding this. So thank you. Also, regarding the JPA, My colleagues, you guys should be receiving an email to an invitation by the CC to an event that's going to happen next week, I believe, or the week after. So please look at your emails for that. I don't want to discuss that publicly, but just look at your emails regarding that. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Anyone else have anything to report from the commissions?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have something I wanna make sure that the city manager, if he has had a chance to connect with Hub Cities. I believe the interim executive director there wanted to. Have you had a chance?
I asked Jen Pineda to schedule a meeting for this week. I think he's been trying to reach out.
Perfect. So the purpose of this meeting is just to make sure that because we do have a new executive director that's temporary, he's working on new ways to kind of move the hub cities forward. You guys know that we've had a lot of challenges and that we're not out in the clear yet. We're still trying to figure it out. So he's gonna connect with Mike and kind of fill him in on some of the options. They're trying to look for new ways in which we can provide services for all of our cities around here. So just wanted to keep you posted on that we are continuing to explore efforts to keep the organization alive. So, yeah.
Mayor, I have a quick question in regards to that. And I'm kind of curious because in the past, I know we've had, no, wait, this was SIACA. Apologies. I thought it was Hub Cities. But is the new interim executive director, is this public already or?
Absolutely.
Got
yes.
it. Okay. No worries.
I believe that was all for the reports. City manager, would you like to go over your report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barcena. Just to confirm to the meeting with the Hub Cities directors at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I knew it was this week. I just wasn't sure what date. So thank you. He has been wanting to have a meeting. So just want to mention a few things that have gone on and that are coming up. We had our last council meeting on Monday, October 13th. At that time, we were all watching the weather forecast to see how the grand opening of the Aquatic Center was going to go. And it seemed like we had a window, a sweet spot that, you know, the weather forecast gods were shining down upon Bell Gardens, and the weather broke just in time for the Aquatic Center. So that event, it was a little bit cold outside, but the water was heated, so council was able to jump in and be able to get the Aquatic Center open. So I think it was a great event and worked out just perfectly with the weather. Wednesday, October 15th, the chief had another community event, Concha with the Chief. That was at El Pescador. Friday, October 17th was the Free Farmers Market, addition to the Art and Yard Sale. Last weekend, the 18th and the 19th, so 2 weekends ago, was Yard Sale weekend. On October 20th, I think Dr. De Leon Sanchez mentioned there was a press conference in front of the AG's office. So we ensured we had some staff out there to just show support for the city regarding those regulations that the Attorney General is considering. Saturday, October 25th, at the last council meeting, I mentioned we had a trip scheduled for Tanaka Farms for sort of fall harvest, Halloween activities. Director informed me there were 45 participants, so it was a full trip. So I think, again, really cool experience that, you know, if you're a kid, if you go to one of those things once, it sticks with you forever. This Friday, October 31st, is Halloween. We celebrate the Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, and we had canceled the laser show that was part of the Independence Day, 4th of July event back in the summertime. That was pushed forward so they didn't lose any money, and pushed forward to the Halloween event. So this is a big Halloween. It's on a Friday night. Kids don't have to be in school the next day. The weather's forecast to be really good. So we're hoping this will be a record blowout Halloween Dia de los Muertos event. So excited for that. That Sunday is daylight savings time, so we'll move the clocks back. It will be lighter in the morning, but darker in the evening. So from a pedestrian and traffic perspective, I'm sure the police department is on alert for the challenges that people will have in the evening time. Speaking of the police department, on Wednesday, November 5th, there's a neighborhood watch meeting in the evening at 6 p.m. at the Paseo del Rio neighborhood. Friday, November 7th, at the Art and Yard Sale, it's also the Free Farmers Market event that Friday. On Saturday, November 8th, it's the Family Fishing Derby. That one always kind of creeps up on us because it's right after Halloween and just as we start thinking about Thanksgiving. So Family Fishing Derby will go on that day as well. One item that I do want to mention, we've been putting it out on social media and we're working with them to get some more exposure, is for an organization that's doing a camping trip, that's offering a camping trip for Bell Gardens residents. It's free of charge. It's on, I believe it's the third weekend in November. Overnight trip, Saturday, Sunday, would expose the residents to a natural environment, quiet, bright stars, maybe hear coyotes and owls and things like that. And they'll be marketing at our Halloween event, also at our Family Fishing Derby as well. So there'll be more of that to come, but we're putting it out on social media. Want to make a couple comments on the consent calendar. There are about $4.3 million worth of grants on this consent calendar item, including $250,000 for a study to determine the best locations for electric vehicle charging infrastructure within the city of Bell Gardens. About a $300,000 grant with the COG for them to help design standards for the city's multi-family and mixed-use zones. $26,000 grant for alcoholic beverage control, education, and enforcement activities with the police department. And the largest one, it's acceptance of a $3.7 million grant for improvements all along the Clara Street corridor. So just as a reminder for the council, the steps involved here are accept the grant, then we normally come to you to request bids, then we come to you with a recommendation for a contract, then the work gets performed, and once the work is performed, we come back to you with an acceptance of the project being done. So this is step one of a project that you'll see over a 12 to 18 month time frame. So you'll remember this a couple of times. It's the same grant moving through. And then the final item, just want to mention on there, we've got 15 feet of blue curb that's intended to serve disabled residents. And also a 20-minute green curb that was requested by a business that was recognized a couple of months ago, El Pollito Bakery on Eastern Avenue, right around Cecilia. So that's all I have, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. We will now move to the consent calendar. Does any member of the City Council or successor agency wish to pull an item for separate discussion? Okay.
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to pull, which one was that, Mike? The one that I had mentioned earlier?
Item 10.8.
10.8. That's the one about zoning that I wanted to pull for separate discussion.
Perfect. Okay, may I have, are there any other items that anyone may want to pull? And City Clerk, we vote on the rest of the calendar first, right? Yes, okay, let's go ahead and ask for a motion to approve items 10.7. I'm sorry, 10.1 to 10.7, and then 10.9 to 10.11. Okay. We have a motion by Councilmember Jorge Chavez and a second by Councilmember Dr. Francis de Leon Sanchez. I have to follow the example of former Mayor Jorge Chavez, who did a great job at remembering that. So I have big shoes to fill, guys. And all those in favor, please wait for the vote, because I also have to remember that we have to do an actual roll call. So.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Members of the Council and Successor Agency, Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barcena.
Yes. So the consent calendar is approved, and City Manager, do you want to go ahead and introduce the item?
Sure, Mayor. Just again as a brief kind of synopsis of this item, and then I'll ask the council member for any specific questions or the rest of the council. So this is basically grant funding that the COG received. That's the Gateway City Council of Governments that we participate in. The COG's allocated $289,000 within the city of Bell Gardens for the development of multifamily mixed-use standards and design guidelines. So within our current housing plan and within our current zone code, we have requirements that are state requirements for multifamily mixed-use standards. We don't actually have any design guidelines. They haven't been prepared. So this MOU essentially would have the COG, they have a consultant, MIG, which happens to be the same firm that we're using for our strategic planning, but we don't have anything to do with this election there. For them to put a plan together that would be for standards and guidelines for our higher density and multi-use zones. So this would be something that the COG would put together through MIG. It would end up coming to the Planning Commission, then ultimately come to the council for approval. So it'd fill in kind of some of the blanks in our current zoning code. With that, I'll ask for any questions, and then I have our director and our city planner here that can provide some more information as well. Why don't I go ahead and ask our city planner, since he's here, to fill in the blanks of what I just said to help let the council understand what we're doing here.
I've also prepared a presentation. If that's helpful, I could go through that as well. I'll just wait for the clicker, really.
So I don't know if the council knows, oftentimes on consent items, not because this one was asked for, but we'll try to put presentations together just in case it comes up. And it's not that hard to move from a staff report to a PowerPoint presentation. So I think, Alfonso, just to share some of how behind the curtains and how the sausage gets made, did you have this presentation already prepared prior to me even asking any additional questions on the item?
I did. I also had another consent calendar item. I made a presentation for that as well. I'd like to be prepared.
Okay, so if anybody wants a retro poll, that will put Alfonso to the test. So
I shouldn't have mentioned it.
So go ahead with the presentation, Alfonso. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Alfonso Hernandez, City Planner. The item before you is a consideration to enter into an MOU between the City of Bell Gardens and the Gateway City Council of Governments. So specifically, the recommendation is that the City Council adopt a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Bell Gardens and the Gateway City Council of Governments for services provided as part of the Southern California Association of Governments Regional Early Action Planning Sub-Regional Partnership 2.0 grant. So some background, staff submitted a grant application to the Gateway City COG on June 5th, 2025. The COG selected to allocate the city a total of $289,453. The proposal was for the development of multifamily development standards and mixed use, also zoning standards and design guidelines, along with also density bonus state law codification into our Bell Gardens Municipal Code. Unlike other grant funds, the funds will not be directly awarded to the city. Instead, the COG will maintain, monitor, and distribute the payments for this grant fund. The city will be responsible for providing direction to the COG and to the consultant, monitoring deliverables, and also overseeing the progress of the project. More specifically, the project involves developing new development standards for multifamily zones such as our R3 and R4 zone, our mixed-use zone. These include developments like, or development standards such as height requirements, densities, setbacks, landscaping, roof line modulation, things like that. We will also develop design guidelines. The difference between design guidelines and development standards, the development standards are your code. The design guideline will essentially illustrate and explain what the development standards are. And so the benefit of that is that a developer or the public, a homeowner, or somebody who owns multifamily properties can easily interpret what these development standards are. And lastly, again, there is state density bonus law that we don't have codified into our codes. It doesn't necessarily need to be codified into our codes by state law, but it's helpful when somebody wants to develop. So in our housing element, we have things such as programs that say that to eliminate developmental constraints, if they have it in one place, which would be our municipal code, that would eliminate a developmental constraint. And then again, as Mike mentioned, our city manager mentioned, MIG Incorporated is a urban planning firm, well-qualified urban planning firm that will be developing the plan. And here are some examples of what design guidelines are. As I mentioned, they illustrate what the development standards are. So if I could just illustrate some of the examples. So in this section here, we would develop a plan that one describes the purpose of the design guidelines, but also illustrates what our development standards are. As an example here, it talks about a second setback. So as you all know, setback is the distance between your property line and the building. Typically, it's just one number, which would allow for a flat roof. If we want multiple setbacks, it would allow for two numbers that we'd put in our development standards, and this describes what that should look like. So one number here being what's closest to your property line, and then a second number here that's a little further back. Another thing too, we could potentially put in development standards are varying roof heights. So if we follow this dashed line, we'll find that there's varying roof heights. So when we have that in the code, a developer could see, or somebody who's developing on a 4-unit project that they have, they'll know how to essentially do that. Instead of just in a written form, it's also in front of them and what that'll look like. So with that, once again, staff recommends that the City Council adopt a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Bell Gardens and the Gateway Council of Governments for services provided as part of the SCAG Regional Early Action Planning Subregional Partnership 2.0 grant. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. Does anyone have any other questions or additional comments?
No, I just appreciate the presentation on such short notice as well. It really shows the preparedness, and thank you, Mike, for being able to accommodate and for answering that and presenting that. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the thorough presentation, City Planner. I have a question. So with this grant, we'd be able to define the parameters for like R4 zoning and such. And if so, like, would we also be able to determine, which areas throughout the city would be classified as such, or how does this work?
I think a good way of seeing it is that this is on further extending the efforts that we did in our housing element. So in the housing element, we chose what should be R4, what should be mixed use, what should be R3, what should be R1, et cetera. And in there, we established that these are the densities we want. These are the heights that we want. Actually, I take that one back. We haven't determined heights, but then this would be phase 2 where we're actually implementing that in our code. So to be more descriptive, our code currently doesn't have R4 standards. It doesn't have mixed use standards. Right? This would be codifying that, but it wouldn't be an exercise of now creating new R4s or new mixed uses.
Thank you so much.
And Alfonso, I think as far as timeline for the council, because they'll be seeing this again as it comes through the planning commission and back to the council, what's the timeline for council to expect to see this?
So we are going to participate in public outreach and then also take study sessions to our planning commission and our city council. So you'll probably see a developed rough draft of this probably in March. The grant does have stipulations that it has to be approved by June, or not approved, but a decision needs to be made. Ultimately, you would approve, you can approve or deny the project, but a decision must be made by June.
I had one quick question, and it came through Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa's point. I know you mentioned that we already identified height standards through our housing element, or height.
I got a little ahead of myself. We haven't determined height standards. Through this exercise, we'll be determining height standards, setbacks, so those types of things. And the council and the planning commission do have say in terms of what that looks like.
Got it. Okay, no worries. I was gonna ask what was the max height we can build here in Bell Gardens, but all good. Thank you.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I think for residential, I think it was like 30 or 32 feet. For residential.
I was gonna say stories. 30 to 32 stories.
I think there's a feet limit, and then stories kind of fit in there.
Would be nice to see like a skyline, right here in the city, kind of like Sim City, right?
We kind of already have it. The bicycle casino.
Well, we gotta accompany it,
Well, what I will say is there are certain densities in our housing element that we do have to hit, right? So it stipulates a minimum. In reality, to meet a minimum in certain of our lots, we do have to do at least 3 stories or 4 stories in some lots. Yeah.
Have we identified those lots already?
Yes, we have. Yeah, and I don't know off the top of my head, but in the housing element, we have a list of these sites that have to be at least 30 units per acre, et cetera.
Yeah, if I remember, it's been a while since we had the discussion of the housing element. I think we identified certain corridors on Gage and Eastern alongside. We upzoned a lot of that area to be able to build a lot of that density of housing. So more so just kind of curious and interested in seeing where we are in those conversations in terms of actually building those out or seeking input from the current owners of those lots to see what they want to do.
Yeah, for us, it's putting the plan in place to allow them to do that. As I mentioned, we currently don't have R4 and we currently don't have mixed use. So when someone calls, the conversation is a bit tricky in terms of us guiding them through it. This will help ease those conversations and make it a lot easier for them.
Thank you for the discussion. Unless anyone has anything else to add or any questions, we're gonna go ahead and entertain a motion.
Move.
Okay, we have a motion by Chavez and a second by Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa. Can we please have a roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember and Successor Agency Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen. Councilwoman Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barcena.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Now we're gonna discuss items 11.1 to 11.7. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 11.1?
Thank you, Mayor Barcena. This item is the local commission's appointment list, so it's staff's recommendation that the city council review their commission's appointments list and by motion remove commissioners and or make appointments to the posted vacancies. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to add anyone to your commissions?
Yes. I have a motion to appoint Carla Acosta to the Recreation, Culture, and Youth Commission.
Thank you. Anyone else have any other changes? Okay, can I have a motion? I'll go ahead and move. Second by Councilmember Dr. Francis Delon Sanchez. Can we please, should we wait for Councilmember Jorge? Yeah, let's go ahead and give him a minute to come back.
City Clerk, can you repeat the motion when Councilmember Chavez is outside?
Yes. Councilmember Chavez, the motion is to appoint Councilwoman Guillen appointed Carla Acosta to the Recreation, Community Services and Youth Commission. What, did you have any other appointments?
I have no vacancies, unfortunately.
And we have a motion on the floor by Mayor Barcena, seconded by Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez.
Okay, and I will go ahead and gather the votes. Members of the council and successor agency Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barcena.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you, Madam City Clerk. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 11.2?
Thank you, Mayor Barcena. We have a PowerPoint for this item. It's a request for support for California Proposition 50 Election Rigging Response Act. We'll get the PowerPoint pulled up here so we can go through some detail on the proposition. Okay. So just some background here. Ordinarily, states will redraw congressional boundaries only once per decade following the U.S. Census. However, in August of 25, the Texas legislature passed a bill to adopt new congressional maps for the 2026 elections without a court order. The Texas plan is considered partisan. It's designed to create 5 additional Republican-leaning districts. Republicans currently hold 220 seats. Democrats hold 213. Control of the U.S. House often determined by only a few seats. Any change can significantly shift the national balance of power. In response to I'm using the terms here from the proposition, so regardless of how the council votes. Partisan power grab in coordination with Texas leaders, the governor and the state legislature called for a special election to consider Prop 50. The measure safeguards fair representation, protects California's congressional influence from partisan gerrymandering, continues California's tradition of defending its diverse communities from politically driven federal actions targeting immigrants, public funding in working class neighborhoods like Bell Gardens. The impact, Prop 50 could have direct consequences for representation in the House, the U.S. House, in turn for major federal funding and policy decisions that affect all Bell Gardens residents. control of Congress shapes immigration policy, federal funding, all the things you can think of, Section 8 housing, Medicaid, disaster relief, things of that nature. The outcome of Proposition 50, it would redraw California's congressional boundaries to offset the partisan Texas seats, potentially creating up to 5 additional Democrat-leaning districts. The goal here of that proposition is to maintain balance in Congress and protect California's role as a check on federal overreach. So it reaffirms independent redistricting, strengthens California's commitment to fair and partial district maps, urges national adoption of similar standards, empowers voters, gives the voters direct authority to approve emergency congressional maps in response to alleged federal election interference. So it's up to the voters. Temporary and proportional. It's effective only through the 2030 election, expiring with the next census cycle. Preserves reforms, keeps California Citizens Redistricting Commission's long-term authority over future maps. So it's a short-term solution to an issue that's just come up out of the blue and on an emergency basis. And again, the governor and the legislature have put forth a special election for this purpose. The conclusion, adopting Proposition 50 would help maintain the balance in a closely divided U.S. House by offsetting Texas' new Republican-leaning districts with additional Democratic-leaning seats in California. So it's recommendation based on the request that the City Council take an official position, in this case in support of California Prop 50, Election Rigging Response Act. And the reason that this is coming to council as opposed to some things that you normally see within California legislation or California legislative acts, the council's adopted a legislative agenda that's for within the state of California. So if this were something that the legislature were doing within the legislature of California, most likely this would fall under the legislative agenda that the council has already adopted. And on the surface, and of course, I think the rules say, or I know the rules say, if we weren't certain in discussion with the mayor, we'd bring it back to the council. But generally speaking, this would fall under a support if this were just legislative activities that were done up in Sacramento. Because they've passed that on to the voters, we don't have a voter support or oppose proposition, policy statement. This just doesn't come up that much. And as stated, it's an emergency proposition that was put forth by the governor and the legislature. So with that, that's why we're asking for the recommendation here, because we don't have any other position from the council to support or oppose such a proposition. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Do any of my colleagues have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Mayor, if I can, I just want to say I appreciate City Manager along with the rest of the staff for bringing this item forward. I'm excited to see this here, and I urge all of my colleagues to be in support of this. This is our response to what Texas is doing. In Texas, President Trump called Governor Greg Abbott and said, "Hey, Mr. Greg Abbott, I am entitled to these 5 Republican seats." And Governor Greg Abbott instructed the legislature to reshape their maps in favor of the Republican Party. California is responding to that, and we're deciding to add 5 Democratic seats. However, with the caveat that it has to go back to the voters, to the people of California, to allow this to actually happen. I always tell folks, this is just asking for permission. Ultimately, the voters will have the final say if those 5 Democratic seats are actually going to happen, because these candidates aren't official yet. The seats that are being created in hopes that Prop 50 passes, they still have to be voted in, as in the candidates themselves and their party. So at the end, voters have the final say, and we're taking a different approach than to what Texas did in just not asking permission. Instead here, we're trying to make it democratic. We're going back to the people. And again, this is temporary, right? This is temporary. It's a response to, if Texas was not doing this, we would not be in this path. With all that, I ask in support for your support on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Chavez. Anyone else have any other questions, comments? Okay, I'd like to comment on it. And I'm probably going to do some comments in Spanish here because I do plan on maybe sharing this later. This is a very important item. Este esfuerzo es muy importante porque en este momento estamos en una crisis en este país donde se necesita el apoyo a iniciativas como la Proposición 50. Para dar un ejemplo, lo que está pasando en este momento, imagínense que hay una pelea de box y de repente alguien trae una navaja, ¿verdad? Es una pelea de box, no es una pelea de navaja. Entonces, en este caso, nosotros somos los que no tenemos navaja, pero esta es una oportunidad para armarnos, para defendernos contra, pues, esta dictadura que se está convirtiendo en una dictadura, este presidente que tenemos en este momento. Entonces, es muy importante defendernos como Estado aquí en California. Y pues le doy gracias al concejal Chávez por haber traído este esfuerzo aquí al Consejo para apoyarlo en grupo. So thank you to Councilmember Chavez for bringing this up in support of Prop 50. It is extremely important that we defend ourselves. You know, how do they say it? Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. That's exactly the situation that we're in right now, where we're being attacked in a way that's unfair. And we need to do whatever we can to defend our rights, right? To defend our government. And I just want to also encourage my colleagues to support this. I'm very happy to see it here in the council. So thank you. And unless anyone else has any other comments or questions, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
Sabu.
Second.
Okay, it's a motion by Councilmember Chavez and a second by Councilmember Guillen. Can I please have a roll call?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the Council and Successor Agency Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barsana.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, can you please announce discussion item number 11.3?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Chavez. This item is an introduction of an ordinance that doesn't come around very often. It's a request to adopt the recertification of the 2015 citywide supplemental speed survey, affirming the accuracy of the city's posted speed limits. That would take us
Sorry,
through.
City Manager, we have 11.3, which is the municipal code, Robert's Rules of Order.
Apologize. Thank you, City Attorney. City Clerk would have killed me if I skipped this item here. I apologize, Mayor and City Clerk and Council. Item number 11.3 is the introduction of ordinance number 960. This doesn't come around very often in that it would replace the existing language to utilize Robert Rules of Order from 1915 to the most current edition. So probably won't see this one again. I'll turn it over to the City Clerk, Daisy Gomez. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, so the purpose of this item is really to for us to follow the Robert's Rules of Order, which sets procedures for conducting meetings so that everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in the decision-making process and decisions that can be made fairly in an orderly structure. So currently we have our Bell Gardens Municipal Code section that does require the City Council to conduct its official meetings utilizing Robert's Rules of Order. But as a city manager announced, it was in the 1915 edition, as it says on the municipal code. So the proposed change tonight is to request that there be an amendment made to allow that the city remain an up-to-date version by revising the Bell Gardens Municipal Code to require it to conduct its official meetings in accordance with the most current edition of Robert's Rules of Order. So, and currently the edition that is out there is Robert's Rules of Order is the 12th edition, and it was revised and released in 2020. Doesn't happen often, but it is good for us to stay in practice to have a current version. So the purpose, or the benefits is to ensure that we have legal compliance. We provide, it provides accurate, clear procedures, supports efficient, fair meetings. It addresses modern practices and technology such as hybrid meetings, electronic notification, and electronic voting. Reduces confusion with clear and updated terminology, using a recognized parliamentary standard, and then streamlines decision-making processes. So it is recommended that the city council waive the full reading and introduce ordinance number 960 to replace the existing requirement from us using the 1915 revised edition to the most current edition. And any questions if the council has any?
I think everyone is happy about this change, so I don't expect any opposition here. And I want to thank you for taking the time to get us up to date. It's really important that we keep our meetings functioning as smoothly and up to date as possible. So unless there are any comments or questions, does anyone have a motion?
I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Councilmember Guillen and Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa, seconds. Can I please have a roll call?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and successor agency Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barcena.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. And I will say this is one of many different updates we will require, but we're slowly getting there.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 11.4?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I previously announced this, so again, my apologies to the council and the city clerk as well. This item is a recertification of the 2015 citywide supplemental speed survey. It's not from 1915, it's from 2015. So I'll turn over to our city engineer, Doug Banash, to provide some information to the council and seek the adoption of the recertification. Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. We're here tonight to recertify the extension of the 2015 supplemental speed survey for radar enforcement. A little background, speed limits are set in compliance with the California Vehicle Code and guidelines of the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. Speed zones are established to protect general public and advise of road conditions and hazards. We have 26 roadway segments that we study for speed. They are Clara Street from the west city limits to Scout, Eastern Avenue from the north city limits to Garfield, Emo from Florence Avenue to Scout Avenue, Florence Avenue from Habanera Road to the east city limits, Florence Place from Florence Avenue to Scout Avenue, Gage Avenue from the west city limits to the east city limits, Garfield from Gage to the south city limits, Habanera Road from Gage to Eastern Avenue, Park Lane from Garfield Avenue to Gotham Street, and Scout Avenue from Foster Bridge to Gotham Street. We typically focus on arterials and collectors primarily. We don't do residential streets because if you do a speed survey on a residential street, you may not get the speed limit of 25 miles an hour that you want. So we stay away from those altogether. So in 2015, we prepared a speed survey and adopted it in 2015. They last about 5 years. In 2020, we were getting ready to redo it, but COVID hit, and that messed up all traffic for the next 2 years. But then again, we were able to, per the vehicle code, to extend it to 2025. And in January 2022, Assembly Bill 43 was passed that allowed the extension of speed surveys up to 14 years, which will move ours out to 2029. The city traffic engineer has gone through the speed survey and certified that there's no significant changes to the roadway and traffic conditions in compliance with the California Vehicle Code and AB 43. Now, a new speed survey will be required in 2029. In 2028, we'll go out and we will collect speed data and traffic volume data on those 26 roadway segments. And just for information, those 26 roadway segments, each segment is broken down in about 3 or 4 sections. So they are signal to signal or a couple blocks to a couple blocks. So there's a detailed list in the in the speed survey that shows the detailed locations of each of the blocks. Basically, on a normal day, they will survey 100 vehicles. And of those 100 vehicles, they will collect their speed data on them. And we'll take it to the 85th percentile. What is the highest speed of the 85th percentile? We neglect what the nuts who are 15% higher than that range and discount them because that's human nature. And that the speed limit is now at the set at the 85th percentile. The traffic engineer can adjust that up or down 5 miles an hour based on roadway conditions, curbs, schools, commercial districts, those things. So we have a little play with when it comes to actually setting the speed limit. And that's done every 5 years. And then typically the report is then given to, it is signed and stamped by the city traffic engineer. And then once it's approved by council, we hand it to the police department, copies of it. They take it and put it in their files, and they also send one to the courts when they do radar enforcement. And if someone who challenges the radar enforcement at court, the judge has a copy of the speed survey, and will usually, if it's in compliance, will not deny the ticket and get us the fines accordingly. So with that, it's our recommendation that the city council waive full reading of the introduced ordinance number 961 by title only to amend section 13.08.020 citywide speed survey of chapter 13.08 of speed limits of title 13 of the Bell Gardens Municipal Code, recertifying the 2015 supplemental speed survey to affirm the accuracy to the city's posted speed limits through October 12, 2029. And I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. Do I have any questions, comments from my colleagues? Any motions? I'll go ahead and move. And second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Guillen. Can we please have a roll call?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the Council on Successor Agency, Chavez.
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Yes.
And Mayor Barcena.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 11.5?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Barcena. This next item is a discussion, thank you, Daisy, regarding our Sister Cities program. Kind of a lesser known program that we have within the city of Bell Gardens. So we've got a presentation to just provide some background and give the council an update on what the program looks like today, and then seek further direction on what that program might look like into the future. So Sister Cities program, this is a concept. You can look at cities throughout the United States and then look at their partner cities and the rest of the world. It was established in 1956 to create formal partnerships to exchange information, ideas, cultural understanding. In reviewing the city's historical records, staff identified that Bell Gardens has 2 previously formally recognized sister cities, Pátzcuaro, Michoacán, Mexico. This partnership is unanimously approved back in 1995, so a little over 30 years ago, almost 31 years ago, after that city expressed interest in forming a formal partnership with Bell Gardens. So they reached out to us through some means at the time, and the intent was to foster cultural and community ties. My understanding is that for some period of time after that, there was recurring interaction with the city through some period of time, maybe into the early 2000s. And then more currently, but still nearly 20 years ago, the second sister city relationship was approved in February of 2006, following a formal request from Los Reyes Mayor Jose Antonio Guzman Tejada. So this is Los Reyes, Michoacán, Mexico. The partnership aimed to create collaborative opportunities through cultural educational exchanges. It was unanimously approved by the council. We work with Los Reyes on an annual basis. During Memorial Day weekend, just this last May, the mayor, Solis, visited Bell Gardens for the Dia de Amistad celebration, annual soccer tournament at the Sports Center. The city presented a certificate recognizing the partnership. And just to kind of confirm, so we've seen Los Reyes recently. We have not really been in contact with Pátzcuaro, definitely in the time that I've been here, and they haven't reached out to us that I'm aware of it either. So the conclusion is just want to make sure the council understands we have two formal sister cities. With those two cities, both in Michoacan, staff will seek further direction from the council regarding the sister cities program. There's not a lot of additional information to provide, so it's really seeking further direction at this point. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, and opening it up for discussion.
So I want to thank staff for that presentation, and I want to talk to my colleagues. I did bring up this item. You know, I do see a lot of our neighboring cities having, the sister programs. I do think it provides a lot of cultural engagement, and during the times right now, I do think it ignites a lot of conversation. It promotes a lot of that, again, the cultural that we see, the culture engagement. And I think right now, we see like Dia de los Muertos, we have a lot of festivities that we see. And I think that we can really reignite that and, I don't know, create these partnerships with these communities. And it's a little brainstorming that I would really like to engage with. And I don't know, I would invite you to have these dialogues and if you would like to discuss further, but I would like to give direction to staff to engage with F2. It would be Pajacuarán and Sahuayo, Michoacán first, discussing sister city programs.
Can you please repeat that? I just want to write it in my notes.
Sahuayo
Sahuayo,
and Pajacuarán.
Pajacuarán.
Mhm.
Okay. Cuarán. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Have those cities showed interest? And the only reason that I asked is that about maybe 2.5 years ago, we had a city from Zacatecas called Fresnillo who came to visit us and they were interested in being a sister city. We gave them a tour, did all that, but then there was no follow-up, if
Yes.
they actually came. So I don't know if those cities, have they visited us or?
So the presidente from Pajacuarán is actually a former Bell Gardens resident. He's willing to come and visit. It would just be up to us to, establish the dates. Sahuayo as well, they are actually a sister city in Santa Ana. So they're about to come, I think next month. So whenever we would like to set that up.
And just to clarify, the direction right now would just be for us to engage with these communities. And then if the city does decide to enter into a sister city program, we would bring an MOU and a resolution for consideration of the council to formalize the sister city.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wanted to ask about this because within this last couple of months, there's been a lot of interest from cities throughout Mexico. In fact, I think at one point we had, I think it was the folks from Los Reyes who were here present. They brought their staff, their whole cabinet, and we kind of showed them a little bit of the chief was here. I remember that, and they were very interested in our partnership. And I know we have something here, but I'm more so curious as to more so the structure or how exactly this is actually formalized. What happens aside from just bringing it to the dais, or is there an application that they have to fill out online? Is there some sort of information on our website? How can like a sister, because I didn't know how to necessarily navigate those conversations because each city has different sort of set of prerequisites, but now that I know, it begins with the discussion, we make contact, then after that, we then bring an MOU and a resolution to the council, but then what comes after the MOU and the resolution after it's formalized?
Cultural exchange and trading of ideas. Now, normally, I think with a sister city at that point, I guess like with other relatives, sisters, brothers, you develop a relationship with them. So I think most of the time, and it doesn't have to be this way, it seems like what I see with other cities is the cities that they're sister cities with come visit the United States, maybe more so than seeing the city go to the other cities outside. So like Downey, I think has 7 sister cities. So it'd probably be not realistic for that council to be going to 7 international cities throughout the year. So I think in this case, it would be building a connection, having the MOU, trying to figure out when they can come and visit so they can see how things are. And then, you know, if, like with any relationship, if there's interest in long term, then we just continue talking back and forth. And then if interest wanes, as you know, maybe their city council changes or politics change and or economic times change, and you know, again, not like other relationships, things kind of fall off, like with Pátzcuaro. And then I think at that point, the ones that are strong, maybe out of the 3 or 4, you know, they keep going and we see them regularly on an annual basis, and maybe the council goes and visits over some period of time. Or maybe there's a year or two due to a pandemic or something like this where they lose interest and, you know, politics change and we just stop hearing from them anymore. So that's, I think, the normal, you know, and if you see, Los Reyes is almost 20 years. So there's still a connection that seems to have stuck, whereas with Pátzcuaro, it's been 30 years and it seems like, you know, we've sort of fallen off with them. So I think we would reach out, you know, we would talk with the 2 cities or potentially 3, and then see how interested they are, if they want to sign an MOU to formalize the agreement. If they don't, then maybe they're not that interested in being sisters with us. And if they do, then it seems like they are, and then we develop the relationship from there. I think ultimately, you know, I think ultimately comes down to the council too, and your interaction. If the other city comes and visits at the sister city and there's not a lot of interest from this city council in meeting them and, you know, hanging out with them and showing them places, then that's probably how the relationship would fall apart. Versus the opposite, if this city council is interested and, you know, give some time and energy into the relationship, then it would probably just to keep growing over a period of time until maybe this council change or their council change. So that's how I think the natural ebb and flow would work with those sister city relationships.
Got it. Thank you so much for that explanation, city manager. And again, it's interesting because it's one of those endeavors that we just haven't really dove into within these last five years or so. So yeah, I'm curious, you know, for the folks that have been here on staff, I'm looking at Hyla specific because I know you've seen and folks have visited. If there's any input that you could provide just in terms of the experiences it was with Los Reyes or Pátzcuaro, or at any point did the council go to Michoacán and get to see that, or was that just something that was just because I know that in Downey and in other cities, that's something, or Pico Rivera, that's another big city too.
Yeah.
That they'll do these trips, and sometimes I've heard that they'll do like they'll take toys for the holidays, or if they have like a vehicle that's just not in use in the city anymore, they'll ship it to the state or to the city, and they'll make use of it there in the small village. It's funny because you know, like most of us here on the dais, most of our families have to be from Jalisco or Michoacán, and I had someone from Michoacán, another regidor from one of the other cities, Buenavista, Tomatlan, reach out, and they also said, hey, I'm interested in starting this relationship and doing a sister city. So I came up with the idea right now. We'll go visit Isabel's city, we'll go visit Buenavista city, and then we'll visit Pátzcuaro, and then we'll visit Los Reyes, and we got all 4 cities in Michoacán, and there we did the whole formalize the thing. I don't know, just an idea. Tough crowd, yeah.
Might as well include Jalisco.
You know,
Was that a joke? I'm sorry.
What was that?
Is that a joke?
Well, yeah, it was good. So there was already another city. No, and then Miguel added more. A ver, échale sazón.
Híjole. Well, I mean, since we're right there in Michoacán, might as well go to Guadalajara. You know, they're rapidly expanding urbanly, right? So I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I just want to provide my opinion about this. I don't have a lot of experience working with like sister cities or anything, but my impression of it is that, you know, when we establish that bond of being a sister city, from what I see currently, there's really not a lot of responsibility. It's really what you make of it. So like if, for example, in this case, Councilmember Guillen wanted to really kind of focus on that relationship and push it, you know, I do things with art, right? I can see how that maybe translates to like cultural exchange. If anybody else sees that as another opportunity, then that's cool. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's just more what you make of it. And when I say what you make of it, I mean like it probably has to be pushed by the specific council members. Like I'm not reaching out asking for the sister city thing, but I will be like open to the idea because I do think it has potential, right? As long as we're all inclusive and we're all kind of like cool about involving each other there. So that's my opinion. So I like the idea. My bandwidth is somewhat limited because as you guys know, I do a lot of the art stuff. But if I find a way to like piggyback on that, then that would be
Oh,
awesome.
you will be amazed. They are amazing with art. They have amazing.
Yeah, I think this program, on a serious note, could be mutually beneficial. Many of these cities are very rich, or pueblos are very rich in artesanías, and we could probably have a day dedicated to them showcasing to our community, right? Some of their common customs, and as well, I think we could probably learn more about their structure. They could learn more about ours. Um, Learn more about our departments and see how they can also benefit from this program. So I think there's a lot of room for opportunity here. Maybe depending on how long their stay is, they could we could dedicate a certain day towards a certain department, or a certain topic of focus. And of course, council would also have to be very proactive in this in order for it to fruition, come to fruition. So I think this is a pretty good opportunity. But then again, it all lies into how much effort we put into formalize this relationship with the given sister city.
And thank you for saying that, Miguel, because when Fresnillo Zacatecas came, we dedicated like half a day with them, right? So it was just by chance that we got a phone call and it's like they want to be sister cities with you. Can you meet with them? So we met with them. They really wanted to focus on our police department, right? They wanted to see what are the different things that our small city here has their own police department. What is it that they do? So we literally walked through with Chief through the jail, showing them every aspect of it, showing them the ins and outs. And then they're like, okay, in the future, what we would want is maybe get training from some of your senior officers to help us, with some situations that we have. So, but once again, it's what you're going to make of it. So we had those dialogues, but then once that happened, there was no follow through, right? And so that's why I'm glad this is being brought back up to see like cities that have visitors have had interest, like what can we do there? What follow up is there? And then new cities as well. How can we, establish those relationships? So.
Yeah, I'd briefly like to also to add more to it. And I'm all for, again, I want to make sure that it comes off that I'm positive when it comes to this item. We'll have a sister cities with the ones that we have with Guillen's. We'll have one with Guadalajara. We'll have one with Fresnillo. We'll have one with all the cities who want to be a part, sisters and brothers of our community of Bell Gardens. And I'm glad that the inquiry has been to us, right? It hasn't been Bell Gardens to them, right? Not to say that we don't want to also be their sibling, right? Of course we want to be. We're good brothers and sisters out here in Bell Gardens. I'm glad and I look forward to it. It's just again to Mayor's point, how much dedication do we want to put to this, right? Do we want to make it something where throughout the year we want to dedicate a good week, where they come and then we go? Do we want to have some sort of commemorative item where we'll put together a joint plaque or something that says, hey, this is something that shows all of our sister cities. Like I'm thinking the city of Los Angeles, right there on City Hall, they have literally a pole that shows all the sister cities throughout the world and each how far they are in mileage from that location of LA. So again, it's just how much we want to put to it. I don't want to be that person that's talking about the budget up here too, but that's another thing that we should also consider because partnerships like this aren't easy. right? To finance too. And on top of it, I wouldn't say that if there is some sort of trip aligned with this, that it wouldn't just be us as council. I would assume we would also take our staff to be able to go and see the different, how their staff works in their small, in their towns or in their villages or in their cities. The final thing I would say, and I'm just talking about specifically, considering with Michoacan, just overall the condition of the state, right? I think safety is number one, right? And there's been countless cases that have come out where there's just been there's just a lot of activity happening. Not saying throughout everywhere, but I think safety should be number one, top of mind. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I appreciate everyone's discussion. And while my heart is with this, of course, Bell Gardens is my home, but my home is also over there. I shared briefly what has happened. My mother is out there, so I'll be, coming and going. So independently, I'm gonna be going. So a lot of my commitment is there. So rest be assured that, at least from my behalf, el compromiso está. So that's why I just wanna let you know.
Yeah, that's really awesome that you mentioned that because when we're talking about how much effort we're gonna put into it, that matters a lot because like I don't know about you guys, but I don't really travel to Mexico that often. I wish I did. I had more time and resources to do it. But if you're already gonna be going over there because of your mom, like, and there's something you can do to kind of like ignite that cultural exchange, I feel like that's a great opportunity. So yeah. So how do we do this? Is it just giving general direction here? Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys can give direction. Which cities or pueblos you want this staff to engage, and then staff will commence discussions with these pueblos, and then we'll bring back the resolution and MOU if there is an interest. So far we have Saguayo and Pajacuaran. Any others?
Can you just follow up with Fresnillo, Zacatecas as well?
I guess if I can add to that, maybe just reconnect with the previous ones that we talked to.
So Pascuaro, it seems we have a communication with Los Reyes, or they came not too long ago, so it would be Pascuaro, correct?
There's this other one that what was it called? It was called I'm trying to remember the name, but they reached out from this organization. It's called Expomuni Internacional Corp, and they're from the mayor from in a city in Guatemala. I think it used to be a council member here who was from Guatemalan descent, Pedro Aceituno, and he was very connected back to his culture. So of Guatemala, and I remember there's countless pictures that show that folks from Guatemala would come. So they've reached out multiple times. I think at one point when each of us has served as mayor, they made some sort of letter or just sort of invitation. I remember I think I inquired with Mike and I told him, "What is this? I had no idea." I'm like, I don't have relatives from Guatemala. So he told me that it turns out that it had to do with Councilmember Aceituno, and all you have to do is just sort of sign off a letter saying like, hey, you're sort of vouching as a city that you've had a relationship with them in the past. So yeah, I can't remember the name of the city though, but yeah.
Okay, if we can just can staff follow up with Councilmember Chavez and get that city? Is everyone comfortable with that?
City manager?
Yeah, we have documentation for them. I think they've actually come out somewhere maybe even 5 or 6 years ago from Guatemala, so we can find out the name of the city. We normally reach out, and then if we get a who dis in return, we assume they're not interested. So
What?
We'll report back. A who dis.
Who dis?
And I actually have an idea to kind of put some type of structure into this. How many cities do we have on there?
Yeah, I was gonna say there are some cities that have like committees or like, that follow up on a regular basis or that are in charge, are proactive about it, but
Thank you. We have about 5. Okay, so if I may suggest that because there's 5 council members, maybe 1 council member can like provide the city, and that way we kind of also limit it in case we don't want it to get too like broad. So I personally can just give my spot up because I don't really have a city right now, so those 5 could be the ones. Yeah.
Councilmember Guillen has 2. And
She
then,
can have mine for now, yeah.
Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez has Fresnillo. And then we have the Guatemala one.
Miguel from
No,
Guatemala, yeah.
I was mentioning it. I was mentioning it because that was something that was brought to my attention earlier this year. That's why
We love Guatemala, Jorge. Go ahead.
I'm all for the Chapinos all day, any day. Hey, everybody, you know, the Salvadoreños, the Catrachas from La H, I'm all for it. Nicaragüenses, Cotarriqueños, Panameños, todos.
Nadie vuela más barato. ¿No?
¿Qué?
You remember that commercial? There used to be an old commercial about like flying to South America.
Flying to South. They're like, I'm at a Curacao commercial right here or something. But yeah. No, the one that I would put is Buenavista Tomatlan from Michoacan.
Damn, we didn't add Guadalajara, huh?
Well, I gotta do my outreach. For Guadalajara. So,
If you want it,
we
can
have it. Well, in that case, I'll take the Guadalajara.
help you with it.
Yeah.
Wow, Guadalajara is the second biggest city in Mexico. You're not messing around, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
You mean the taqueria, right? Or right here in PG, or?
I'm gonna put on my legal hat and say we're not allowed to talk about that here because of a conflict of interest.
So just to recap, we have Saguayo, Pajocaran, Fresnillo, Buenavista, Tomatlan, Guadalajara, and checking back with Pátzcuaro and Los Reyes.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think that concludes that item. Guys, we are going to take a 5-minute break and we'll be right back. We'll be back at 8:11.
Do you want to take a motion on that before taking the break?
Direction was given, so no motions needed.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to resume the meeting at 8:15. We'll go back from break. And going into item 11.7, City Manager, will you please announce the item?
11.6. 11.6.
11.6, sorry about that.
Thank you, Mayor. I like to jump items, so you gave me a chance. I almost went ahead with it.
An
Okay.
Olympian.
Thank you, Mayor Barcena. This item's a discussion regarding the Village Square Art Walk. We've got a presentation here. I think there's another kind of historical background item that's pretty interesting and kind of a hidden, I guess, little treasure in the city of Bell Garden. So if you see on the presentation here, before I go into some of the words on it, from this perspective here, it looks like somewhere you would want to be, right? Looks inviting. So it's the Village Square Art Walk. For background, Village Square is a commercial shopping center located in southeast corner of Florence and Eastern. So it's the Ross and Marshalls Shopping Center. I think that's what most people know it by. You also have Applebee's. I think El Asadero is down there as well, and the Chase Bank, and Spectrum as well. Development change of ownership. So this was developed by Prime Store back in 2006. So almost 20 years ago. It was land acquired by the city's former Community Development Commission. When that commission was dissolved in 2012, based on state law, the city's successor agency took control of the Village Square and was required to sell it. Prime Store acquired it to continue its operations. I believe they had first right to purchase that property. At the time, if I go back, at the time it was developed, when we look back at pictures of the development, the first thing of note is Hylas has a full head of hair. And the second thing is the art walk looks pretty nice right from the start. It looks almost identical as it looks today, which is a picture here. Hylas, is this the picture we took just on Thursday? Okay, so this is just from last Thursday. Hylas and I walked through there. The Village Square, number one, it's privately owned. So that property was initially owned by the Development Corporation and then successor agency and then sold to Prime Store. So they're required to maintain it up to city standards like any other commercial enterprise would be required to do. So lawn mowing, weed whacking, maintaining the vines that come up over the top of the trellis there. Contains a walkway, art walk with a mix of decorative hardscape and landscaping that provides a pedestrian path from the smaller shops and restaurants to the major tenant stores. It's a little bit over to the side, so it's not as conducive to people walking out of Marshalls or Ross and walking straight through if they're going to Applebee's or to Spectrum or Chase Bank. It's a little to the side. It does have some large rocks. It has some seating areas. It has 10 easels that are holding art boxes that we see some evidence have periodically display art. So by an art box, we mean about approximately 3 foot tall by 2 feet wide, and they're about 4 inches deep boxes that have a plexiglass cover. We looked at the condition of all the plexiglass somewhere in the last 12 to 18 months or so. Dr. De Leon Sanchez, sorry, I don't have that as correct as these other council members have, mentioned this, and I think based on that, it looks like somebody has replaced all the plexiglass. So the plexiglass covers are all brand new over there. They're secured with an Allen key, so nobody can just walk up and pull it off. You'd have to put in a lot of effort. So the condition of the area is very nice, very well kept. The boxes appear to be new. They are all intact. There are 10 of them, 5 on each side. But the one thing they're missing, as there's a picture of one, the thing they're missing, they have the walk part down. They're just missing the art. So, kind of in going through the history of it, it was designed to be an art walk. It was owned by the city, but leased to Prime Store. It appears at the time that the expectation would be periodically Prime Store and or the city would put art into these art boxes. And the last evidence we see for certain that there was art there was just prior to COVID. I think in 2021, you can look at some Google Maps and see that there's art in the boxes there. So from a conclusion perspective, before we ask for further direction, it would seem to make sense that unless directed otherwise, that staff would reach out to Prime Store to see Did they ever have a plan to continuously rotate art through there? And if not, is that something that they're open to working with the city on to potentially display art there, maybe similar to the children's art that we have in the walkway in City Hall? But we'll look for direction from council to see if there's something else that you would rather us do. And one thing we did note too, there's a metal plaque. You can see it on the right column up to the front. I think there's a right here. The metal plaque is intact. I think 'cause it's kind of hidden by the bushes. There was another metal plaque on a piece of rock over here that is missing. So we'll seek further direction at this point. Thank you, Mayor.
What does it say?
The plaque is actually a Prime Store plaque. It thanks, Hylas, do you recall, it seemed like it was thanking the Prime Store principals. I don't think it didn't mention council members and other agencies, maybe the builders. I don't recall. Do you recall any other of the thanks? Prime Store and the people involved with the development at that time.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And just to provide some background, Councilmember Guillen commented about this, and I just said, let's put it on the agenda. It sounds like a nice item that we can maybe brainstorm on. An easy way to display and promote resident art, which is something that I'm very interested in doing. I went out there, took some pictures. I also noticed there's a rock that's missing a plaque, but that might be more of a Prime Store thing. And just from my memory, being in the department for such a long time, I do remember staff was rotating the art at one point. And I think, and I'll let Councilmember Guillen speak in a second, but this is one of those potentially very easy things to maintain. And I think I'd be interested in knowing what you guys think about the potential of like rotating some art in there. And anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, growing up here, I was in like the arts and crafts in the youth center, and they would allow us to, do our little arts and crafts, and it was cool to kind of see our work there, just walking down, and you stroll down and you feel a little excitement as a child. Um, I don't know, obviously we would have to check with Prime Store and see if they would allow us to, seeming that they don't do anything, if we have that permission. But I mean, I think at this point, anything could kind of just to keep it going up, and just kind of rotating it. You also mentioned that we can also, have one of the commissions kind of assign the work to it, and I think that's a good idea as well.
Cool.
This is something I had inquired about before as well, just because walking through there, you notice that it was an art walk before, and I'm glad to hear that they changed some of the boxes, because roughly about 18 months ago, there was graffiti on them, some were broken, and so I was like, what's going on here? And I had asked the city manager if we own that, if we could do something, but at the time, we were not the owners of that, so I didn't know how to proceed forward. So I'm glad this is brought back up, and thinking of the different commissions that we have, maybe anywhere from the Education Commission to the Recreation Commission, just because the Education Commission can reach out to the different schools. The different schools do art all the time, and so maybe rotating school by school, putting artwork in there might be something we can look into.
Okay, I do have some ideas here. And by the way, I mentioned it to Councilmember Guillen, involving the commissions, but specifically for outreach, making sure that we can use them as someone that can promote these programs, because I've also experienced on the flip side, for example, with the utility boxes, that took 2 years and it was going through the commission. So I don't mean to, say that they shouldn't do this and that, but I think if we are able to use their help promoting it, which is what we need the most, we need the participation. And I think that would be great to use the commissions for that. Another idea is we have a Wednesday, or it got moved to Thursday, right? Like the art space. We have the art space that we started. I accidentally was there. I was supposed to meet with someone during the time for the art space and noticed that there was really not too many people there. And I'm concerned that it's sort of like decaying a little bit. So if we can maybe try to reignite that, and I talked to the city manager about it, I would like those people that go to the art space to have their art showcased and have that be a motivation for them to know that they can display their art. Another thing I wanted to mention is that I remember back in the day thinking, well, that spot is a little bit like out of the way. Like it's kind of like, I just don't know how fruitful the efforts would be. But I think we've come along with technology so far that I automatically just thought of like maybe including, like what we can do is when we select the art of that current artist, we can post that art in our recreation department, maybe Instagram page, and put a QR at the bottom of the art piece. That way people are able to leave comments and they can get some feedback, some appreciation from people that walk by. So it can be an interactive space, open to feedback and opinions on that, of course. Those are just suggestions. But I do think there's a lot of potential and very little work to be done there because all we got to do is pick the art, right? We got to just make sure that there's some participation there, make sure that there's some an opportunity for residents to display their art in a place that they go shopping and have tacos at Asadero, which everyone loves here. Everyone loves the tacos at the Asadero, right? All right.
Favorite food? Tacos.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing would be engage with Prime Store, right?
Yeah, so I'll reach out to them first thing in the morning. I would assume they're going to say, yeah, you guys are, as long as you have an Allen key, you can open it up and put the stuff in there. I mean, they have replaced the plexiglass. You can see on the one item there, it looks like a little bit like it's torn or something. You see like a little line right here.
What that is like
That's the
brand
shading
new
of it.
thing.
Yeah, it's still got the tags
Yeah.
on it. Had that new art box smell still. So we could, we'll reach out to them. I'm certain they're going to say yes. There may be some document they want us to sign as far as liability and stuff for the value of the art in that, because it could just be stolen, right? So then I think, with everything that everybody's saying, I would assume I'll talk with them, about, can we just have access to do the rotation? And maybe it's something where it's every month it's rotated to something different. I think with, as the mayor mentioned, with the art space, maybe that's an easy way to say we have art space and the first 10 pieces that come out of the art space in the next 2 weeks will be featured at the Village Square Art Walk. Even if the quality is maybe not that great, at least it gets people interested. Not that it's not, but people get interested, and we can rotate it through, I think, pretty regularly. If we were to say maybe like every month or something, it gives a lot of opportunity. That's 120 art pieces in a year.
What I was gonna say is I'm curious why they updated if they did have plans for it. So that's why I would love to engage with them first to see like what their plans were for them updating it. And then if they didn't have plans, then obviously allow us to be able to utilize that space.
Yeah. So that
We don't own the space, so these are all just suggestions for now. But hopefully, they'll listen to us. But yeah.
Yeah, so we'll ask, was there any plan on their part? And then if not, are they okay with us utilizing it? And then we'll see if there's any prior agreement or something. I think there's some institutional knowledge there at Prime Store where they'll know if there's some kind of a written agreement somewhere. We couldn't find one looking in our records though.
Maybe they want to, I don't know, give gift cards to the kids that end up being selected and say Prime Store did it, like that's a good opportunity for them to support artists, young artists in our community. Just an idea.
If I may, Mayor, I wanted to jump in on this because we're having such a great discussion on specifically this development, Village Square. But it's always interesting with Prime Store, considering they also own, and I don't know if they're the biggest sort of landlord of the city when it comes to square footage and just so much space they own here in the community, right? We're talking Village Square, they own Los Jardines, and they also own the Marketplace, right? And this is sort of the beginning welcoming entrance of Bell Gardens as soon as people get off the 710 freeway, etc. So I remember growing up, one of the things that they did, and I don't know if it was the brand opening of FAMSA, but they had this big like carnival right there in Los Jardines, and it was a really big deal. This is probably like mid 2000s, but I remember going as a child, and now I go and I'll say I'm gonna go get some Wingstop, or I'll go to the Petco or something, and I noticed that there's like little walkways, and there's even like plaques that commemorate the sort of beginning of what it is as of our walkable community space. There's even a fountain that in the past has been filled with like soap and bubbles and stuff, because I've seen it been posted on Bell Gardens Uncensored. But just the amount of attention that this Prime Store has, and these shopping centers, and I want there to be more interaction when it comes to sort of developing these spaces, right? I know that some of these lots are some of their space is also vacant, right? And it's been vacant for I'd probably say a couple years, maybe since the pandemic, right? They used to be a yogurt land, and then that went out of business. And then how many times did that the location where the taqueria is now, the Prime Taqueria, it used to be a Jamba Juice, and then the Jamba Juice changed, and then it became Roll 'em Up Taquitos, and then that changed, and now it became Prime Taqueria, and hopefully this one's the one that sticks, right? And they have that little sort of space outside to be able to have outdoor dining, right? So with all that said, they have a weird setup with a weird parking situation, because they also have a big extension right next to BGI, which is sort of just left there vacant. Not to mention the one next to McDonald's, that's sort of in that little corner that we had a great time when we were doing the rally and stuff earlier this year. So just kind of curious, I mean, in these conversations that we're having, the Prime Store, seen obviously as our biggest landlord and client here for the city when it comes to space, more engagement, right? Councilwoman Dr. Frances Delon Sanchez and I were talking about this. It's like, it's interesting that they updated the art walk, because I know for a while it was sort of just left there and they didn't have a lot of attention, right? And they're sort of the things that are, when you walk into Bell Gardens, when you're trying to find a spot, if you're walking from BGI, trying to go to our shopping centers or something, it's like, this is what you're greeted with. So overall, just with all that said, just big discussions that I hope we continue to have, especially with someone like Prime Store, who's always around us, right? They go to every single function, and they're very interested in just maybe we should take that energy and bring it here to the dais, where we can have them come to the council, have them present and tell us, hey, what have you been doing in terms of ensuring that these vacancies in your shopping center are going to get filled, right? And what can we do as a partner, as a city, to engage and support you in that? Because when you succeed, we succeed.
I think we could also take another angle at it too. We could have our own art walk, right, without having to go through Prime Store. And I mean, just thinking about possible areas. I mean, Ross Hall would be a great, that region, that area, like the Quad area, could be a good opportunity to showcase some art there, independently, right, without having to go through Prime Store, and we could run it ourselves as well. Just more, it's more autonomy there.
Anyone else? Mayor Pro Tem, I want to show some appreciation to your comment. I worry about what we're doing for art. I had a burnout moment after trying so many different things in the city with art programs, volunteering, and I'm a little bit tired. But that doesn't mean that I don't care about what we do. So I want to encourage the council to become more involved and yeah, look for ideas that work for our community. Our community is special. We're not like Santa Monica. We're not like Glendale. We're not like, we're not an affluent city per se. We have a lot of resources because we have a casino, right? But our community needs help adopting a lot of these practices, like being engaged in arts programs that are not like just traditional sports programs, right? Like I think we're doing good with sports. I think everyone's itching to go watch the Dodgers game right now. But I want to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to open new doors of expression, engagement, and even civic engagement. I mean, a lot of this art can end up leading community members into learning about whether it's social justice, environmental justice, history, government through art, right? And that's the beautiful thing about art. So I hope that we can continue to make these efforts. And I would love to have our own art walk or our own art showcase space. I would love for our art space to become activated, for us to be constantly promoting that, because the results are, they're inconsistent. And I feel like we could do more. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens with this. Does there need to be any more clarification on the direction for this item?
No, Mayor. Well, actually, I should clarify. City managers, do you need any more?
Yes,
clarification?
no, so we'll reach out to Prime Store, see if they had any plans. If not, if they're open to us doing some things, and then, we'll bring something back to council just with, sort of the results of that. I might not even need a council item. Maybe I can just kind of update the council and then move on from there I mean, the goal would be if they say, no, we're cool, put whatever you want in there. I talk with the attorneys. We sign some kind of an agreement as far as who's liable or not. They'll probably ask for that. They'll probably send us an agreement that says that. And then we can go from there. Then at that point, it's just finding 10 pieces of art to start displaying and then, having a plan going forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, sir.
I actually do want to want to make a request to our city manager and to staff, if possible. If we could actually invite Prime Store to come to the council and have them update us on what they're doing for Marketplace Village Square and Los Jardines. When it comes to development, right? We obviously have Rite Aid that is no longer a client. So what are they doing to sort of fill that big, shop? And what opportunities is there, and what can we as a city do better in engaging with them, right? Maybe, maybe they could do a mural on one of their walls, right? I'm thinking the wall right there facing on Lubeck, right? On the other side. So Lubeck, and I think it's Ajax, right? Is it Ajax? Yeah, it's Lubeck and Ajax. Thinking right there, that's a good opportunity for a mural or something. I don't know. Just I actually would want them to come and sort of see what's going on.
So Councilmember, and I think for Mayor and the rest of the council, yeah, so we can ask for them to come. I would assume they probably, the next meeting might be a little bit quick, but probably the meeting after that if we wanted to. As you mentioned, they're always around at the events and everything, so.
Due to, obviously, there's only, I think, 2 more meetings. It doesn't have to be urgent. If they can't come until January, then let's just have it till January.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Chavez. Thank you, City Manager. And I believe that concludes our item. And moving on to item 11.7. City Manager, will you please announce this discussion?
Thanks again, Mayor Barcena. This is an update on the John Anson Ford Park Regional Aquatic Center. As we mentioned, we had a grand opening 13 days ago, and then we've been open a few days here or there. We've ramped up operations. So I'll turn it over to our Recreation Community Services Director, Liz Nava, to go through the presentation. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. O'Kelly. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. We have our slideshow coming up here just really quickly. Okay. This item is just a brief update on the Aquatic Center programs since our grand opening event that happened on October 14th. Which you were all there, and it ended up being a really beautiful night, which was fitting for such a special occasion. Your backs were all facing the sunset, but the audience looking at you had a beautiful background to also look at as you were all speaking. So it was really a wonderful night. And there were hundreds of people there, and And then we did a soft opening of programs on Saturday, October 18th, but I just wanted to really quickly publicly thank the staff. I wasn't able to, we had a lot of really great speakers, and that night was about council and the work that you've done in getting the pool open. But I wanted to just thank our recreation coordinator, Edith Lopez, who led the grand opening event with the recreation team as well as the public works team who helped us prepare everything for that night. And it was a successful, great grand opening. And then also getting the pool open required a lot of help and teamwork from our aquatic center staff, Ozzy, who's our pool manager, recreation coordinator, Bernie, of course, and his team worked lots of hours to get things built and in place, and our fitness equipment, our office equipment, Hylas and Steve, our IT team, to get our center up and running. And so it was definitely a big group effort, but we were able to open to the public on Saturday, October 18th. And we were really excited to do that. We had I call it a soft opening on Saturday. We offered swim lessons. We had 120 participants, 125 people came out for our first rec swim, which was really exciting. And then we had 7 participants in our fitness room that day. And then the following Monday, we added a few more programs. We added lap swim. We had 92 participants, 48 participants in rec swim. The temperatures dropped, and so we do recognize that there's going to be a little bit less as the weather cools down, but it's really great for us as staff that we get to figure out and get our systems operating and running smoothly as we increase numbers throughout the year. And of course, we have our fitness room. And then we've been engaging with Bell Gardens High School to get the swim team and the water polo team at our facility. We're just waiting for coordinating the time of when they'll be here, but we also have a local swim team utilizing our pool for practices. They're called the Downey Dolphins. And so they started the week of the 20th as well. Because we're doing a slow rollout in our programming, we were closed last Friday. We'll be closed again this Friday for Halloween, as it's a huge event. It's an all hands on deck event. And so we'll be closing down Friday. However, on the following week, beginning on November 3rd, our hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, basically 6 a.m. through 8 p.m. Not everything will be open throughout the entire time, but I broke down a little bit to give you an idea. The fitness room will stay open all day. Early in the morning, we'll have lap swim, and we'll start senior water aerobics. And then in the afternoon, we'll have rec swim. Monday through Friday, we'll do rec swim from 3 to 4, but then on Tuesday and Thursday, we'll have an additional hour of rec swim from 6:20 to 7:20. We'll do lap swim Monday through Thursday from 4 to 7, and then on Friday, we'll do lap swim from 6 to 8. And then we'll do aqua aerobics Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Saturday, we're open from 8 to 4. The fitness room all day, swim lessons happens in the first part of the day. And then in the afternoon, we'll offer rec swim as well. And then Sundays will be closed. Just as a reminder, the swim lessons, the aquatic center fees are retro to 2016. And essentially anyone who enters the facility pays the fees. However, we do have scholarships available and assistance available if an individual is unable to pay the fees. But just as a reminder, our swim lessons are $35, $45 for non-residents. We do have LA 84, which is a grant, which we're really grateful that up to this point, no one has had to pay for a swim lesson yet. Everything has been free because we've had that much money from the LA 84 grant to cover. So each year we ask for more, and because we have a brand new facility that allows for more, we expect and we hope next summer we'll get a bigger grant as well. Excuse me. Our senior water aerobics is $1. It's only for participants 55 and older. But then the rec swim, the fitness room, the aqua aerobics, and the lap swim, it's all $2 for adults, $1 for children, and $1 for seniors. And then the private pool rentals right now is $100 per hour. I can email you, Chief.
It's 55 and over, so it's just the $1.
Just to recap on some future programming that staff are currently working on, we are still working on the resident ID card program. That was approved by council earlier this year. That will allow for residents to have a photo ID that indicates their residency status. And it's useful because when they want to register for any recreational program, that'll help. They, instead of having to supply a utility bill or proof of residency every time they register, they can do it once, get the card, and just show us that they are residents, and we can use that for registration. We're working on developing a monthly membership program. The monthly membership program will allow for individuals to pay on a monthly basis at some sort of a discounted rate. And we're working the details out on that right now, but we will bring that back to council, hopefully at the new year, to implement a membership program once we've had a few more weeks understanding the operations of the pool and the aquatic center and then the needs of the community. But in the meantime, in order for people not to have to pay $2 or $1 every time they visit, staff is working on implementing a punch card program where a person can pay upfront for 10, 20, or 30 visits, and it's the value of what their needs are. So if they're an adult, they pay $2 to utilize the facility. So if they want to have a 10-card punch card, they'll pay $20. And on each visit, staff will punch their card, and we keep track internally of how many visits is on that card because each card will be numbered. And then it's just an easier way for our residents in the community to access our programs. So we're looking to roll that out at the beginning of November. Just a reminder for fiscal impact, the projected operating costs for the aquatic center is about $2.7 million. And just the conclusion, just high level, is we had a very successful grand opening. We started a slow rollout of our programs and are working into full capacity programming starting November 3rd, as well as implementing our punch card program while the staff work on resident ID cards and a monthly membership program. And it's staff recommendation that the City Council receive and file this report or provide staff with further direction. And that concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Director Nava. Do I have any questions from my colleagues? Any discussion?
I have a question for Councilmember Chavez. How's the Stairmaster? Did you already hog it or?
Stairmaster was great. I did a total of 1 minute the day of the Aquatic Center grand opening. I went that Saturday, got to the Aquatic Center at 3:58 p.m. Didn't realize it closed at 4.
Damn.
So I have not gone back, but it's on my to-do list. Yeah. Do the push-ups already?
Well, I'm waiting for the chief to witness that, so. It's
Looks
gotta be a
like the chief is right here.
Well, after the meeting, I'll do a set over here.
We want to do it live right here.
Live.
En vivo.
Man, maybe for the next meeting, I'll have to, work on my conditioning.
All right.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way the day of the opening.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was intense.
tough.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout out to Marco.
yeah, Marco, dude.
I'm just happy you're alive, dude, because
Oh man,
that was brutal.
Jeez.
And I should say I commend Councilmember Dr. Frances de Leon Sanchez. She swam the whole lap. Yeah, that was impressive. I was very impressed.
Swimming in that pool, so I had to, and I felt pressured by the girls' swim team. I thought, I even asked Liz, what's the closest exit to the pool? She said right there. I told my sister, meet me there with a towel. And all of a sudden, the girls started swimming. I said, I'm not going to be left behind. So there I was with the high school girls swimming the whole pool. So
There you go.
So I met up with Miguel at the top of the slide, and he was like hyperventilating. And I was like, hey, are you all right? He's like, yeah, I got tired. And I'm like, I was a little concerned, but I wasn't like super concerned. I thought he was just tired or out of breath. But later, I saw the video that someone sent me when we jumped,
Yeah.
and I saw him struggling. And
Yeah. No, I mean, cardio is no joke, especially in a pool. Shout out to the lifeguards. Thankfully they didn't have to like dive in and rescue me out. But no, it was intense. But overall, I think it was a wonderful inauguration of the pool. Seeing all the smiles in the residents, expressions was heartwarming. And shout out to staff for all the hard work, all the coordination to make the event as smooth as possible. That's great. So yeah, and also major shout out to my colleagues as well for being so proactive in this project over the years. And seeing it come to fruition is such a blessing for the community. So thank you.
I think to echo what Liz Nava said is that it was a collective effort, right? When you look at such a project so big like this, there's so many people, so many parts that play a role in this to make it a reality. And so I do want to commend everybody, like I said, past and present, who have been involved in doing something such historic for our community. And also the fact that it is going to cost $2.7 million, to run this facility. I think our fees are extremely low. I think everybody can afford to pay $1 or $2, staff, council, residents, everybody, people that visit. And if they're not able to afford it, like you said, I'm glad that we do have those scholarships for them. So thank you.
Thank you. It was a beautiful day. Even the day in itself, it was like melancholic. It was raining and then the sun came out and then you guys were full of shivers. But it was so beautiful, the atmosphere, the environment in itself. And now we're here, now to the next big project, see what we have to unfold. But thank you and your team, everyone involved, everyone here sitting, you guys are amazing. It just takes us back to those full circle moments that we always talk about, why we're sitting here, why we do that we do. So thank you very much.
Yeah, briefly, I wanted to ask a question to staff in regards to obviously I know, to Councilwoman Dr. Franz Alonso's point about the cost, right? That's something that's top of mind for all of us. I know that there's been some discussions in terms of trying to get an Olympic team to come and to use that space. Where are we in those conversations?
So the one challenge that we have seen, because randomly the South Korean team was looking around, obviously in Southern California for facilities, and one of the things that I think challenges that comes up with it is, generally speaking, they want to keep the team together and they want to keep the team in a location where everybody sleeps in the same building or the hotel. So even with like the Park West Bicycle Hotel and Casino is not large enough, they would want the South Korean team, for example, which isn't a huge country. I think there's maybe 40 or 50 million residents there, would probably need 3 Park West Bicycle Hotel and Casinos to shut down for 2 to 4 weeks, where they take over the kitchen. They have their own chefs with them. So it has to be a country that's like pretty small and very specific or very narrow focused. So, all the cities' names are out there with, the sports center, the aquatic center. And then I guess the challenge first is to find a country that's just interested, that has a team that fits one of those needs, that isn't a large enough country that needs everybody together for everything from security and cost perspectives and that. And then the second part, just that the council would have to consider if somebody is interested. So our name is out there as, a city that's interested among other Southeast LA cities. The second issue is just you lose use of those facilities for your residents for some period of time. And, I know the Olympics is a big deal, but you also have to consider that as well. But that, I think, was the biggest challenge that we saw with the South Koreans, that they needed to find somewhere that was larger than the locations and of any of the cities around here, and they weren't willing to break everybody up.
Is there a price thrown out there for if we could, let's just say, for hypothetical purposes, that we could host them, and is there a
dollar amount where we would say, hey, you have access to the aquatic center for 2, I think it was around 2 to 4 weeks is what they were looking for during the Olympics, and a little like acclimatization before. I don't think the numbers are very high. I think they look to see what's the cost. I would believe for our pool, I would think for 2 weeks to 4 weeks, I would think we'd be in maybe like the 20,000 range, 30,000 range,
Got it.
something like that.
Got it. Yeah, no, if they need more space for the hotels and stuff, I mean, I know we have the Bell Gardens Quality Inn right in front. We have what are the ones we got? The which one?
The Fiesta.
The Fiesta Inn right there on Florence. Yeah, I mean, great locations, prime locations.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? I wanted to say thank you to staff, as my colleagues already did for such a great ribbon cutting. And, it's just an unforgettable event that we had. And I appreciate all of the hard work and all the thoughtfulness that went into it. The community is very happy. And, I don't mean to be a party pooper, but it's kind of like when you have a baby and you're coming back home from the hospital. Not that I've ever had a baby, but you're coming back home from the hospital and you're like, whoa, now this is it. Like, it's mine now, right? What am I going to do with it? So, that's like our $2.7 million, ticket that we have up there for programming. I think we all know where that money's coming from, the tax increase that we did. We're looking at our cannabis businesses to provide that. So in that sense, we're good, but I also feel the heavy weight of the responsibility to make sure that our pool is utilized to the best of its ability, right? We want to make sure that we're getting the most money that we can from it by either providing it as a rental for an Olympic team, or any other revenue opportunity. I did ask for maybe the numbers of the first week. Were we able to get that, or just the numbers of attendance to the rec swim and
Yes.
the lap swim and all that good stuff?
I have it if, Steve, if you can bring up my PowerPoint again. For the first day, I did two. I did, for the first day on Saturday, and then a combined total so we were open 4 days last week. So from the time of the report, I have Monday through Wednesday. So you can see here on the Saturday, our soft opening, we had 120 swim lesson participants, 125 rec swim participants, and then 7 that attended the fitness center. And then Monday through Wednesday, so we started weekday swim lessons today. So I don't have numbers for that. So last week, we only had lap swim, rec swim, and the fitness center throughout the week. So we had 92. So this is cumulative throughout the 3 days. 92 lap swim participants, 48 rec swim participants, and then 28 in the fitness center. And I think because it's an evening rec swim, the numbers kind of dip a little bit. But we expect to have high attendance this week because the heat is going back up this week. So we expect to have some higher numbers.
Thank you so much. And I was out there for lap swim twice and once for rec swim. During my first lap swim, I believe there was a team that came by. So that was nice to see a whole team doing laps. I went for a swim today, lap swim, and it was only me and then one person. So it was only 2 of us during the time that I was there. I was there for about 30 minutes. And I did see a bunch of swim lessons going on. That was really nice. But my thoughts are, because of our community, again, similar to the arts programming, it's not something that they naturally gravitate towards. And I can even tell you on social media, some of the people were like, great, right when winter's about to start, you guys are opening the pool, right? So I think a lot of the people's opinion based around pools is very just like recreational oriented. where, other communities understand that having a pool is a huge opportunity for athletic purposes and for conditioning and all that. So I think we probably, in comparison to other communities, we need to kind of maybe spend more time and effort promoting the programs. I'd like to continue working closely with staff in finding ways so that we can make sure our pool is being utilized, because that's $2.7 million. It's a brand new state-of-the-art facility. And I think there's a lot of work to be done in order for our community to adopt it as a service that we're not familiar with it. Even if you go back to when it used to be open, it was only open during the summer. And just so you can get an idea, one session in the summer gets about 350 kids, right? Just in one session per day. So I don't have the numbers right now for swim lessons, but we used to get like just a ton of swim lessons also. It's not summer, so we'll get there eventually. I'm sure in the summer we're gonna be like just having so much turnout. But I do want to make sure that we continue working. So I'd like to give direction to staff to maybe find ways in which we can increase participation for the pool. I feel like we need to kind of zoom in on that a little bit right now when we're just opening up. That's all.
Yeah. Have just an idea. Maybe Jorge could host fitness sessions. Fitness sessions with Jorge. I think that would be pretty
I
cool.
can't, man.
You
I
can't?
I like to work out alone.
No, but
Yeah.
you'd be uplifting, encouraging others to,
I was
I'll
thinking,
pass on it.
or swimming lessons with Marco, that would be cool.
Push-ups with Miguel.
Well, I mean, I have to work on my condition again, so, until then, but
He has
The
a
stress
he
swimmer
do all
would-
the Fitness Fridays with her house.
Fitness
It's only
Fridays?
Fitness
day.
Fridays?
Yeah.
no,
He's ready.
that's it.
Nope.
I think that would be
I'm
great.
good.
Yeah.
Council meeting Mondays. That's what I do.
Council meeting Mondays. Or we could host a council meeting at the pool, and then afterwards, everybody just,
I'm gonna need to Brown Act it, make sure that we do a public setting and
I mean, considering the amount of participation we had today, I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, Eliseo, are you open to that idea?
don't call Elisa.
Yeah, he's always the one who's last one standing in this meeting. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'll throw in my I don't know, I could probably host a recreational swim or something. I don't know.
What is that one gonna be called?
Well, try not to drown with Miguel or something. I don't know. Something.
We do offer adult swim lessons too.
Okay, there you go. I think that applies more to me. I think I'll be the attendee rather than the host.
Luckily, in the aquatic center, there's a little section with a slide and
Ah,
a
I
lot of
see.
those. That's perfect.
I think that fits. I think that fits.
Love it.
Yeah.
on a more like serious note, I do think we have a lot of common area, like right spaces, a lot like the little amphitheater area. So I think we can kind of hold more programs, kind of promoting that area and kind of having the community see that area without charging them, and they can see like, oh, this is cool, and then they can,
Yeah, that's a great idea. I want to mention that the Atención Plena group that does the meditations, that day, because it was so busy, they weren't able to have their meditation at the time that it was planned. So it got cut short, and I think they want to go back and try it again. So they might be reaching out through staff. Just want to, it's probably one of the first groups that is using that area, but I welcome any type of
Maybe.
usage there. I think that's a great space.
Chief can have a neighborhood watch,
There you go.
something, just think outside the box, anything we can.
A neighborhood watch, talent show.
Yeah, just, anything that we normally have just there, just so the community can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, my parents rented out a couple times. Some of those little booths in Fort Park.
Gazebos?
And the gazebos, yeah. And I had a couple birthday parties there. But I think it would be a great opportunity to use the private reservations as leverage as well. You know, push those forward a little. Maybe make it tailor it to like a birthday package or something. You know, just to spice it up a little and bring in more attractiveness into that space, especially since it is a bigger ticket amenity there. We could probably adjust the price accordingly depending on how that goes, but I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just quick question. Do we have anything in the works for rentals? Like, how's that coming along?
Yes. Oh, am I okay to answer? Sorry. Yes. Yes, Mayor. We staff are working on developing a detailed rental application. We're actually in conversations right now with the JPIA regarding some language. But both for personal rentals, so someone who wants to rent the facility for like a birthday party, and then also for extended long-term rentals, like for swim teams. So the staff are in conversations with a lot of potential user groups. At the grand opening, I was approached by someone from St. Gertrude's. Staff are talking actively with the local high schools, but also we've been brainstorming activities and programs to host in the wintertime at the Aquatic Center. For that exact reason, we want to maximize the use of that beautiful facility and also keep the momentum going. We unfortunately had to open in the fall, but that's okay. Staff are very eager to stay active with our programming. And so we've developed some program and activity opportunities, swim team ideas to get the community there. But also we recognize the value of the facility that we have. So staff are working with organizations to get our facility on the USA Swim map so that swim teams can rent our facility for meets on the weekend, and that draws a lot of outside people into our city. And so we definitely are actively pursuing that right now because we understand the importance of getting our aquatic center on the map.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, really quick on this discussion, and I also want to, and on a serious note, I want to thank staff again for an incredible opening ceremony for our aquatic center, and just overall thank everybody who's made this possible, especially our city manager with all the incredible work and tireless effort to be able to get to this point. To the mayor's point in regards to sort of metrics and how to engage with the community, right? Similar to the art conversation. And I know that there's been a big push to try to get community activism when it comes to a lot of these different opportunities that we're sort of presenting. For this one specifically, and I'm trying to think, a lot of it is sort of set up to, by variables that I feel like the weather, right? It's not like we can control that kind of thing. I think the Director Nava showed a couple of the points in terms of the metrics when it came down to the success or the amount of folks that came out this last week and the week before, et cetera. So I'm kind of curious, just obviously the mayor has experience when it comes to this. Ideally, in the wintertime, how many folks do you feel we should be trying to aim to get to come out to these things? Because as much as I was the biggest advocate to get that fitness room, right? Just the way it's set up right now with my schedule, I just haven't been able to attend the fitness room, right? But yeah, I'm just kind of curious, and same thing I'd say with the other art programs that we have, because I do see that staff consistently, does, and I think even this new one that I saw that it threw me off was there was one about the beats or the making one. There was actually a video that was launched with that one on BG Recreation. I was like, well, we've never done a video to sort of encourage people to come out. But I'm curious. I don't know. I'm curious how would you sort of fine tune it, no pun intended, to be able to make it more attractive for community to come out.
Question for me?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, specifically with the pool one, because obviously I know that's your background.
Yeah. So for the pool one, I think it's there's no way around it. There's gonna have to be a lot of community outreach. And the key here is that it's during the winter, it's not during the summer. People already come to summer swim lessons, you know, they're trained to do that. But right now, what I would do is engage groups in the vicinity. Like, for example, Huntington Park running group, right? They've told me that they're interested in doing like a triathlon type of thing, right? I've talked to the police department also about maybe having like some type of like collaboration, doing some triathlon, like a mini triathlon thing, using the pool, using the track on the riverbed. Also, what Liz is already doing right now, which is talking to the schools, the local schools. Like I told you, the biggest group that I saw out there for lap swim was a high school. I don't know if it was Warren or Downey High, but they were definitely out there. So just tapping into all those groups will be what I would recommend. But making sure we're covering like not just Downey, right? Like, you know, Bell and like all of the cities really, especially cities that don't have a pool. I mean, Southgate has a pool, Linwood has a pool, but Huntington Park doesn't have a pool. What I'm not joking, you know, I'm just saying, you know, some cities don't have a pool and we need to make sure we reach out and provide it. I mean, it's a regional center, right? And we need to make sure that we go out there and provide our pool as a resource because those are our participants. They're going to be our patrons. So that's what I would do. And, you know, later in my comments, I'm going to be talking about just promoting some of our services. And by the way, I wanted to ask that video that you saw, I haven't seen it. Is it an actual, like, are people talking or something like in the...
I just saw it. It was like a quick 30-second snippet
Cool.
showing, you know, like it had like, it didn't show the faces, but it'll have like somebody like right here. And it was like an image in the back. The camera was recording them like kind of like mixing or something.
Nice.
But it was like an overall good video.
So just so you know, I'm gonna be doing some videos at the pool hopefully soon that just talk about like different strokes and like doing them at the pool, like just basic stuff that engages people. I mean, maybe some of the lifeguards want to do something similar to promote the opportunities that we have there, right? Swim lessons are also cool. Like if we can showcase like Mommy and Me, which is like something people don't really think about. You can take your baby out there and teach them how to swim, right? Sometimes people think it's just for like 12-year-olds or something. No, adult swim lessons. Our community, you know, like I said in my speech, about 1 out of 4 people are the only ones that have ever taken like any type of swim instruction or swim lesson. So that's 75% of our population hasn't had the opportunity or been exposed to learning about, you know, water safety and swimming and all that stuff. So this is a great opportunity for this population in particular to adopt that, but they do need to be handheld, kind of like with the art stuff. We need to make sure that we go that extra mile because this is not something, you know, we're an underserved community, you know, we're an immigrant community. So we need to make sure we supplement that adoption process. I hope that answers some of it.
Yeah, no, this is really like and you mentioned those key things about our community, right? Underserved, disadvantaged, you know, you name it in any sort of way you look at it, indicator, you know, whether it's environmental, education, access to transportation, you name it, we're sort of underserved, right? And when it comes to access to like a pool, we're off the chains when it comes to that, right? So I get that. I just feel like sometimes, you know, especially with like with this new amenity, it's not that people aren't like ready for it. It's just like it needs to like ease into it. You know what I mean? And I mean, as much as we try to, I don't want to say like ¿cómo decirle? Like not force it, but it'll come natural, I think, with time. And I think people eventually are going to be like, oh, like maybe folks haven't driven through it, and now once they drive to it, they're like, oh wow, I didn't even know that they changed the parking lot, right? I remember during COVID, right, we had food distributions there almost every week, right? And that intersection became very trafficked, and you know, so I just think it happens over time, you know, with folks coming in to see that space. I'm thinking, you know, we created like an event center, like host events there. There's so many regional meetings that happen. Let's be Bell Gardens, be the sort of the chauffeur when it comes to a lot of this, and bring the attention at that to the local level. One thing I would add is just our community's already they're by the time they get to the point of like, oh, you know what, I want to go and I want to enjoy it, it's by the time the hours in the day sometimes are just they're gone through work and through helping out the kids with school or picking up their kids, they're going to their second or their third job. I just feel like it's sometimes it'll just come natural. And believe me, I'm all for it. And I think we've been each of us with our own sort of projects that we've worked on. We've always tried to say like, oh, we got to make sure we get good turnout. We have to make sure that people can come out. And I mean, we're doing it right now with Prop 50 and like just making sure, as simple as getting people to vote, which is very difficult to do, right? It's something until when the rubber hits the road and people start freaking out, that's like, okay, now I want to figure out what's next, right? And but I understand where you're coming from too, because it's also very personal, right? I just feel like at times it'll just be something that we can't control, and it'll just be natural, right? Right now we have an attendance of 192 a week, right? Maybe during the summer it'll gonna be 5 times that much, right? And I'm positive that's gonna be the case, right? And yeah, that's just sort of my take with it.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Anyone else have any other comments? Okay. Well, is it receive and file? Do we need a motion for that? Okay, I'll move to receive and file.
Yeah.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Councilmember Chavez?
Aye.
Councilwoman Guillen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa?
Yes.
And Mayor Barcena?
Yes,
Motion passes by.
thank you. And now we're going to go to member comments, starting with Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you for that, Mayor Barcena. For my comment, I just want to thank everybody for the great meeting. I'll go ahead and say it is bottom 11th, 5-5, and I'll go ahead and end my comments there. Thank you so much, everybody.
What was that?
It's the Dodgers and the Jays. It's inning bottom 11 inning, and who's at the plate? I think the Dodgers are at the plate, and we got sorry, I'm trying to put
I
it
need
up
a
right-
little more enthusiasm. I need to feel like I'm in the game.
I'm trying to read it right now on Google, trying to figure it out. I'm not believe I didn't play baseball or anything
Oh,
growing up, so
kidding.
yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, Dodgers are at plate. I'll say that.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Councilwoman Guillen?
Thank you, staff. And I just want to say I'm looking forward to Friday. My favorite holiday is not Halloween, it's Dia de los Muertos. I usually spend it in Mexico because it's super beautiful. But I'm looking forward here. Los tapetes are super beautiful. Yeah, so just looking forward to it. Have a good night.
Thank you. We have Councilwoman Sanchez.
Just thank you to staff and to my colleagues for all the continued work as we're coming into the holiday season. I just want to remind everybody to be kind. I know it can get stressful and, people just have different emotions during this time. So just remind everybody to be kind. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Thank you. I want to thank my colleagues and staff for such a productive meeting. Looking forward to the next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And as for me, I know that I tend to be, very concerned about our programming, but I'm also very grateful for all of the things that have been done. So I want to make sure you guys know that I appreciate each and one of you, the directors, staff, all the way down to our part-timers. City manager, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you to the council for being so polite to each other, for working together on improving the way that we govern this city. I really appreciate that. I want to say I'm excited about the beat making workshop, and I'm happy to hear that you guys are finding new ways to promote it. I haven't even seen that video, but I'm looking forward to finding out what that is. I want to ask for the help of my colleagues if you guys can find that program, that video, and if you guys can share it. I haven't been as engaged as I would like with the arts lately because I've been busy with other things. But this particular project here is very, very cool. It involves teaching kids how to make beats, and then at the end of that, they're gonna be able to record a whole record, based on Bell Gardens. They're gonna write songs about Bell Gardens. So it's an amazing project, and I do need some support, like promoting it. Maybe if you know kids that are interested in music, get them to sign up because we want this to succeed, and maybe we can start doing it every year. But Liz, I appreciate all the effort that went into that. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that can succeed. Let me go ahead and make a parenthesis here, open a parenthesis for Councilmember Chavez.
Sorry about that. I forgot to mention one more thing, Mayor. One of the things I do every year in Halloween, and Councilwoman Guillen mentioned it, not Dia de los Muertos, but I do a Halloween contest, right? This is my 5th year doing it. Every year, for some reason, the participation gets lower and lower and lower and lower, right? And it's one of those things that I'm kind of running into in terms of like what's going on. The first year, I remember I had like over 40 different contestants, right? And it was a gift card of like $50. Now it's $100, and I said maybe I got to increase the prize to get people to participate. But I'm kind of struggling with that now. This is just a small little project that I'm sort of facing, but similar in the sense that like I'm trying to get people to participate. Now, one thing that I've noticed that has worked for me well is been doing videos of like me just talking to them and doing like adding the captions and stuff. And I'll do one in English and one in Spanish, and those tend to get a lot of clicks and likes and shares and stuff. So that's one of the things that I'm thinking of doing. The other thing is there's a bunch, as I drive throughout Bell Gardens, there's a lot of houses that are decorated. I'm thinking of just dropping by, giving them a flyer and saying, hey, this is a contest I'm offering. I'm already here. I can take the pictures for your house and you can participate in the contest, right? There's 3 categories: most decorative, most creative, and most scariest, right? If your house is one of the top 3, you get a $100 gift card, right? Simple as that, right? And it's the 5th year I'm doing it. But I haven't had a lot of success this year, and I know it's only 2 more days, 3 more days until the contest ends because it's already gonna be Halloween. Usually, the way it works after our Halloween event, I will go to their house and I'll give them the card that same day because usually people start taking out their decorations the day after. So, anyways, that's something I'm sort of struggling and trying to get folks to join. But yeah, similar to that point, I'll have to do a video to get people to participate. I'll probably post on BG Uncensored to get the traffic rolling. Or I might even just ask you all, help me out and sort of encourage the message out there. But I don't know if it's lack of education in the sense that people just don't know what's happening. I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years at this point, but it's one of the things I'm facing right now.
Okay, well, let me know how I can help. I'll be happy to share, collab, or whatever is needed. Did you already invite the house on Quinn Street and like Muller? No.
Usually the way it works is they send me the information, their pictures via, so the things.
Again, this is one of those times when you gotta handhold. Okay.
But it's weird because the first year I had over 40 people, and somehow it's just gotten down in participation, and that's where I'm at now. So
I'm gonna be like, you have just been enrolled.
you have just been enrolled.
Drop off at their house.
Right now, when the mayor said Quinn and he said another street, and I said, okay, wait, isn't that where you live, Quinn and Garfield? Right there?
I live on Quinn, that's why I know about the street. And I was driving by the other day and I was like, that's a cool one. They have a lot of decorations out there.
All good, no worries. None of us here are gonna win. I'll tell you that. But yes, that's one of the things. But yeah, to Councilwoman Guillen's point, I think I might have to just resort and sort of giving them the flyer and sort of encouraging them to participate. But yeah, it's crunch time. I only got 3 more days, so I got to figure this out or squeeze this into the schedule to get people to. It's really tough to do outreach. It's not to organize people to do something. It's difficult.
Thank you. And talking about outreach and civic engagement and marketing and all that stuff, I want to give direction to place an item on the agenda for a potential ad hoc. I don't know what to call it yet, but I wanted to touch upon marketing and promotion and civic engagement. So if we can please put that on the agenda to consider for the next meeting. And I just want to mention that I have been talking to Mayor Pro Tem about these efforts. He has a marketing background. I have a marketing background too. I did technology and consumer behavior. That was the name of my major at the University of California, Berkeley. And I also worked as a marketing assistant there. And I did a bunch of the social media here in Bell Gardens when we first had like Instagram and like back in the day. So I'm excited. I'm passionate about this, and I'm hoping one of you guys will join. I do feel like we could maybe take some leaps into the future. I know there's only so much we can give Hylas, because he's like an octopus already, like working all kinds of, we want to make sure we give him a break. So maybe we can put our minds together towards something productive. But anyway, thank you again, everyone, for all of your work.
Real quick, sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes,
before
ma'am.
we adjourn the meeting, I wanted to congratulate you for being appointed by our governor to the River Mountain Conservatorship. So congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, council member. I appreciate you making that remark. I've been working on a project over, the golf course primarily, but I also engage with a lot of nonprofit organizations that focus on the environment. With my work with BG Arts, I've done field trips to the mountains. We've done a lot of work, really, and thankfully I had that opportunity to apply, and they thought I was a good fit. I don't know how long that position has been vacant for, but I think it's been a while. So it really means a lot to me that I was given this opportunity, and I'm hoping that I can make a positive impact. If there's ever anything I can do to represent your interests, or maybe you want to share something with me that I may be able to communicate to the governing board, I will be more than happy to do that. And of course, I'm always looking out for the interests of our community, our residents here in Bell Gardens, especially as we're right next to the riverbed, and there's so much money that's coming down through the system of rivers, the San Gabriel River and the LA River. We're like right in the middle, and we share both of those. So we're very special, and this is a great opportunity for our voices to be heard. So looking forward to serving there. Thank you. And if there's no objection by members, I will now adjourn the City Council Successor Agency joint meeting at 9:27 p.m.